There is nothing more stupid than a goy sitting here defending a state that allowed Epstein.
You're right. I should defend Muslims.
To
You're
rape
right.
children. No, no. Don't deflect now. Don't deflect
now.
Oh,
the guy that deflected to Epstein doesn't want to deflect to his pedophile prophet. Wow. Call me. I'm so shocked. I'm so shocked. He deflected to Epstein when nobody brought up Epstein. But the second I brought up Islam, he's like, no. Please don't deflect.
We can talk about that.
Muhammad's Aisha was 4 to 5 years younger. 4 to 5 years younger than Epstein's youngest victim. And they're both equally disgusting.
Are you not going to click this link? You wanted this link before. I couldn't source it, and I'm sourcing it.
Let me read it real quick. Robert Maxwell threatened Mossad. Oh, it says he threatened Mossad. He would expose all he had done for them to the Kremlin. To the Kremlin. That's interesting. Wait, are you going to ignore that part? And to the corridors of power throughout Europe. Oh, it's not just Russia, also European powers. Okay, interesting. Giving powers to Russia and Europe. This is really debunking you. Let's keep going.
What is the subject line?
They tolerated his excess. Hold on, let's keep reading. This is great.
We started with 1948, and I'm very glad we started.
Why did we start with 48? When did the war start? You said 48?
Yes.
In 1936, when they targeted and slaughtered 510 Jews during the Third Jaffa riots. What was the reason for that if it didn't start till 48, Sneako?
We're talking about this land, these people.
It was literally, I'm talking about the exact same land.
What up?
How are you?
I'm good. I see you got the 3 flags up.
Yeah. America, Israel, and Iran.
How come?
Who I support. Served the military for about 12 years in the American military. And I'm not Jewish, but I support Israel. I'm not Iranian. I support Iran.
Is that a Palestine necklace?
It's an Israeli necklace.
Okay.
It has the Golan Heights, right? You don't think that Palestine controls the Golan Heights?
Oh, well, let me ask you, why do you support Israel if you're not Jewish?
You don't have to be, what? Are you Palestinian?
It's a simple question.
Right, and I'm answering by asking you, are you Palestinian?
No.
Do you support Palestine?
I want them to be freed.
Okay, so you support them. Wow, you just answered your own question. Good job.
Yeah, but you didn't answer my question.
It's the same exact answer.
Because they should be freed. No. I support Palestine because they're being genocided and they need to be freed from this genocide. And they are predominantly Muslim brothers and they are good people.
Right, and you
didn't. I gave you clear evidences. I gave you clear examples why I support Palestine. Why do you support Israel?
Right, so that's not what you originally asked. That's your new question. Your original question is, why do I do it if I'm not Jewish? So if your new question is, why do I support Israel, period, right? My answer is that I think they should be freed from terrorism and terroristic state and IRGC proxy group. Doesn't mean I particularly dislike any Arabs living in the land.
But why do you support? Do you support them because terrorists are attacking them?
No, there's many reasons. I'm just trying to simplify an answer just for a vague question. I'm giving a vague answer. Obviously, we can expand. There's more to it. I also don't believe it's a genocide because it doesn't meet the definition of the Genocide Convention of 48 that was ratified in 51. Doesn't meet the
You've seen Gaza today, and have you seen it 2023, right? They're cutting off the food supply, cutting off the water supply. They have kept on shooting after the ceasefire. They've made it clear they want to expand to Greater Israel. They want to ethnically cleanse them, destroy the land. It's been completely destroyed. The Jewish Zionists controlling Israel.
All of them, or some of them, 10% of them, 100% of them? I know some people have said that, of course. There's people that are allowed to agree with that. There's some people that want America to expand too, and there's some people that disagree with it, but that wouldn't mean I would attribute that to Donald Trump or the administration. But before you kind of labeled a huge list.
You're going everywhere. Okay.
You went everywhere. Israel, that's my point. I'm trying to bring us back. You just labeled a whole thing. I'm trying to go back to the genocide claim.
I didn't even mention Trump, and you went over to Trump. I want to go back to the original question. So
you don't want to talk about genocide?
I do want to get there, but I have to figure out what you believe in. I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you're supporting Israel.
Okay, fair enough. Go back.
Why are you upset?
I'm literally not upset. I said fair enough. Go back.
Okay. So why do you support a state that was created in 1948 by Jews to support the greater Jewish cause, and you are not Jewish? What are you? What do you believe in?
Like my religion, or I'm Italian and Spanish mostly. I mean, my dad's from Mexico. I'm just I'm not Jewish. I'm American. I don't know what you're asking. Like,
okay, well, what's your faith? But you grow up Catholic. Spanish, Italian is probably Catholic.
Right? I'm a cradle Catholic, but I'm not a Catholic anymore. I do believe in God, but I'm not particularly a religious person, at least like a practice religion. I do believe in God for sure. But I believe in the seven like, I believe in 7 laws of Noah. I'm not Jewish. I'm not really Christian anymore. Again, I was a cradle Catholic, and I did believe, believe that for a little bit, but I kind of left the church as I started having questions.
So you just believe in God and God alone?
That's correct. I have read the Christian Bible. I've read the Quran twice. I've read over about 20,000 hadiths. I've read the Hebrew Bible, the Tanakh, the Torah, whatever. But yeah, just not any of those three faiths.
So you're against organized religion?
No, I'm not against it per se. I guess it depends on how that organized religion plays out. But I don't like harp on anyone if they're part of an organized religion. That's fine.
And you said you read 20,000 hadith?
15 to 20,000. Read all of Sahih al-Bukhari, which is about 7,500 hadiths. I read all of Sahih Muslim, and I've read some of the ones beyond that.
Right. Google's saying it's around like 2,000 to 7,000 but
wait,
maybe
you
you're
don't
reading
know
Shia
your
ones
own?
well.
No, that's okay. First off, aren't you Muslim?
Yeah, again, hadith,
dude,
there's
Sahih
unreliable and
al-Bukhari,
specifically reliable.
Sahih al-Bukhari has
there's different
7,500
books.
hadiths by itself, dude. How do you not know this?
Again, there are different clarifications on how many hadith you could believe and how many are specifically reliable. There's different interpretations.
Sahih al-Bukhari is reliable. It's Sahih, which means authentic. Do you know what Sahih means?
Yes. Look, the point is that there's different schools of thought and different people believe in different amounts of hadith.
Correct.
This is the first time I've heard someone say 20,000.
Dude, well, first off, I don't know what you Googled, but Sunni hadith, Sahih al-Bukhari is Sunni, okay? Sahih al-Bukhari by itself, before you even get into Sahih Muslim, is 7,500. What did you Google exactly? How many hadiths are there? I'm going to Google that just to see what mine says. How many total hadiths are there? Yeah, so what I got is it estimates range from tens of thousands to over 100,000, as you can know. It's not focusing, but or over a million actually. It says tens of thousands to over a million. So I don't know what you read.
Total hadith, it depends. Again, it's debated about how many specific hadiths
are. Okay, but
how many
no one in the world would say there's only 2,000 or whatever you said.
I wasn't refuting you. If you're coming here to do this like gotcha moment, I was asking because this is the first time I've heard somebody say that they've read that many or that there were that many. Most of the people that I've spoken to say they're around 7,000 as
bro. I promise you, it wasn't to be a gotcha. I just never heard a Muslim say that. But yeah, I know a lot of people have read way more than me. But sure, I mean they're not that long. Anyways, whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is that I'm not Christian or Muslim or Jewish.
Let's go back to the original question. Sure. So, do you believe that that land, which is the Zionist belief, was promised to them 3,000 years ago?
What do you mean by that land? So, like Genesis 15, for example, says from the Euphrates River to the river of Egypt, which some people say is the Nile River, but that's actually not correct. It's actually the Al-Wadi area, which is in the Sinai. But if you go into the book of like Joshua, Numbers, it actually is smaller. The borders are actually smaller. So it just depends on what you mean by that land. Yes, I do believe God literally said that, but I don't generally need to use religious beliefs to defend my position with Israel. We can talk about religion, but I don't particularly.
But if you don't believe in religion, then why do you believe this aspect of religion?
I do believe in the word of God. I'm just saying organized religion. Like, for example, the Catholic Church I left, not because I was against certain things in the Bible, it's because of organized religion. And when I say I'm against it, again, I'm not saying other people, I like condemn them for it. That's fine. I'm just saying me personally. But yes, I believe in the words of God.
So you believe in the word of God, but you don't believe in organized religion. But in the word of God, it clarifies organized religion.
Where?
All over. Okay. Like the Torah saying that the people, it comes from the tribe, that
I'm not from that, so Jewish, that's not to me.
But you're using that. You're using that as an example.
Okay, so if you read, you're talking about like Deuteronomy and Leviticus. What it says is to the Hebrews, ... I'm not part of that. So you're correct. It does say that, but that wouldn't apply to me.
So you believe that they're right, but you're not part. You don't. I'm trying to figure out. So you agree and disagree with them?
No, you're just wow. Okay. What I'm saying is that was laws given to the Hebrews and their descendants, the children of Israel, or if you're Muslim, they say Bani Israel. I'm not part of that.
Are they correct? Are they correct?
Is what correct? Do I believe God said that to them?
Are they correct in believing that that land was promised to them 3,000 years ago?
I do believe God promised that to Abraham, and that covenant went through Isaac and Jacob. That is true. But again, I want to make it very clear, because I know you're trying to like pivot to this. I can defend my
I'm just trying to get an
position of
understanding.
Israel. I
I
got
don't
you.
know. I want to figure out why. So I'm asking you like very, important questions
My
to
defense of
find out what you
Israel,
believe in.
my defense of Israel can come absent of religion. I do not need to bring up religion to defend Israel. Like, if you're
Okay,
asking,
so
do I
you
only
believe that
defend it because I think it's God's promise? That's not the answer.
okay, so then 1948, the land was sold from the British to the Rothschild family, and it started the formation of Israel. Do you agree? Do you believe that that was right?
No, first off, the letter to Rothschild was in 1917, not 48. The
I
48
didn't say
part.
the letter. I said it was purchased. I said it was. That's when the transaction went through.
No, actually, the partition 181 alone was in 1947, November 29th, 1947. So,
Okay,
again, that's just not right.
all right. Okay,
I don't know why you're laughing. It's
1947,
just
and
not
then
right. No, that was the
it started
partition
in.
plan.
All right. Okay, it started in 1948, correct? That's when Israel started
May
to move, and that's when the land
No.
finally the transaction went through officially.
No, when they started to move, the first major aliyah was in 1881. Okay, so no, it wouldn't have started in 48. If you're asking when they
Okay,
declared its establishment, May 14th, 1948, if that's what you're
that's
asking,
what
then
I'm
that
talking
would.
about.
Okay,
Yes.
well, that's
So
just not what you
that's
said.
when the declaration was, and that's when it was official. That's when it went through. That's the important part of this conversation. Right?
Okay, yes. If you're asking when they
Understand
established,
you've done a lot of research on these dates and things. Are you here stream sniping to debate me?
I would love to debate you. If you don't want to, you don't have to.
No. But is this the purpose of this? You were trying to find me.
I was literally just on Omi TV, and I skipped the last person I was talking to who pointed a gun at me, and he had like a swastika, and then I was like, I'd like to talk to you, and then he skipped, and then I connected with you, literally.
Okay. So was this correct? Because afterwards there was a genocide that was reported called the Nakba, the expulsion of the Palestinians there.
That was
Is
a
that
genocide
correct?
too?
Right. Yes, it's been a continuous genocide, but that's a major event in the ongoing genocide since 1948. Do you agree of that expulsion? So there was purchased, the land was purchased by the Rothschilds
Okay,
from
so
the
no, I
British,
don't agree
and
that
then
it
they
was a.
started.
Yeah, I don't agree that was a genocide. Genocide is defined specifically. The second to last page of the Genocide Convention says cultural destruction does not suffice, nor does simply dispersing a group of people. Those can be violations of the Rome Statute, but that is not the same thing as genocide. It wouldn't meet the dolus
Okay,
specialis of genocide.
what do you consider to be the definition of genocide?
Doesn't matter what I consider; it's just the definition. So I would go with the 1948 Convention that was ratified in 51, and then if you look that up, you will see the definition, but you also see the definition of dolus specialis, what that means, the hierarchy of international law from just Kogan's norms, right, all the way down to Article 107, and then before that, or under that, would be the mix between customary international law and treaty law.
Okay, well, on Google, it's saying, coined by Raphael Lemkin in 1944, there's a recognized crime under international law involving acts like killing, causing severe harm, or preventing births within the targeted group. Genocide is the deliberate
I
and
guess every war in
systematic
history has been a
destruction
genocide by that definition.
in whole and part of an ethnic, racial, religious, or national group. So the land was purchased, and then
Are you
what?
using
Thousands of
Google instead
people.
of like legal terminology?
Right. This term was coined in 1944.
That's
It was a
correct,
crime
yeah.
under international law. So this is a legal term.
Right,
So
and
I
the
am following a
UN
legal term.
convention was in 1948. So you're correct.
Right.
44
So
was
4 years
before 48.
before, by the definition under international law. So again, if you don't like Google definition, this is the international law definition.
Oh, you are
So
reading. Okay,
how
my
is
bad.
Okay? I accept your apology. Is this not genocide by this definition?
No.
How come?
So am I answering about the Nakba or am I answering post October 7th? Because you brought up both.
Nakba.
Okay, so the Nakba, do you believe that they had an intent to wipe out a group in whole or in part of a protected status? Because I'm pretty sure the Nakba is defined by the Palestinians, especially post 1964 political movement, right? With the PLO. When you look at the Nakba, it's talking about 750,000 that were displaced. 2/3 of them never actually even crossed international borders, which is what's required as a refugee, unless you're a Palestinian. They made up a new definition for them. Hold on, almost done.
Okay.
Just one more
But
sentence.
what do you?
And so you're saying that displacement, even if you counted all that, you're counting that as genocide. That's not what genocide is.
So they were just displacing people, killing them, and kicking out of their homes. Not
Yeah,
genocide.
that's not genocide now.
Okay. should you kill, displace, and kick them out of their homes because it was purchased by the Rothschilds? Is that morally right?
That's not what I'm saying at all, because that's also not accurate.
I'm not saying that's what you're saying. I'm asking you. So what do you think happened after 1948?
Sure. So in November 29th, 1947, a minute after the partition plan vote, there was actually the leader of the Arab Committee at the United Nations 4 days before that said that we will fight to the last Arab to prevent any Jewish state ever, right? And then a minute after the partition plan vote, they started attacking just Jews. You can't say Israel because Israel didn't even exist yet for another about 6 months, right? So they started attacking Jews. There was 10 different Arab factions that attacked Jews in 1948 after the establishment of Israel. So I would call it a war that they lost. 70,000 Jews were displaced in the first week of the war alone. Many of them killed, and many of them never got to return to their homes because Jordan ended up annexing illegally what they call the West Bank. Would you say that was a genocide if we're just pretending killing and displacement equals genocide now? I wouldn't say that. I'm asking, would you say that?
Pretending. So your question is killing and displacing people genocide?
I'm saying it's not. It could be, but it's not.
Okay, this is separate. What happened in 1948? What was that? You're not calling it genocide. You didn't answer the question. Was that?
I did. I answered it already. I said it was a war.
So once there was purchase, it was declared
Guys,
war
keep
because
liking
the land was
alive.
not owned by the Rothschild family who purchased it.
Heart means do whatever you can.
Again, what is your question?
So the Rothschild family, because they purchased it from the British, this justifies the war that happened afterwards, and they were entitled to do this. So clearly, it started from them, right? The land existed before. There was a country there. They were existing.
Not Palestine.
The Rothschilds had a Then what?
Well, you said there was a country there before. It wasn't Palestine. Palestine's a regional name.
Okay, it wasn't recognized as Israel before then. It was widely recognized as Palestine. You're going to say that different people didn't consider it as a state? That's up for
nobody
your
considered it as a state. Literally nobody. You can read the 1922 League of Nations mandate. You can read the Ottoman times. They had vilayets, and none of the vilayets, by the way, were mentioned as Palestine. Palestine is a European word that comes from the Europeans. It was officially put in by Roman Emperor Hadrian, but even people like Herodotus, who was Greek, he also used that word, right? It comes from the ancient Plishtim.
So what was it called? Okay, so you're not saying it was called Palestine. What was it called?
No, I said there was no country there. Of course, the region name.
It was nobody. So there's people there, and the region is Palestine. The people that were there, their land was sold by people that don't live there. The British sold that land. Afterwards,
actually, no. Most of the land was actually bought most of the land was bought against Arab absentee landowners by far. So just so you know, about 47 to over 50% of the land was actually state-owned land during the Ottoman time. When the British took that from the Ottomans after the 1917 fall of Jerusalem, when they lost that battle, and then the British took over officially 1922. Okay, they took over that state-owned land. About half of it, some sources say a little over half, was state-owned. And then there was a general amount that was owned by Arabs, mostly by Arab absentee landowners out of Jerusalem, Beirut, and Damascus. And then there was about 6 to 10% by the end that was owned by Jewish organizations, communities, etc. Like there's a lot of Sephardic Jewish communities that bought it. Rishon LeZion, for example, was started by 40 Jewish families, and that economic opportunity brought in for.
You're saying a lot of. Okay, you're saying.
I'm correcting your statements.
Events. Okay. There were people. The important aspect is there were people living there. They had the Palestinian passports, and then they were kicked out of their land because of a purchase from the Rothschilds from the British.
No.
Then they were kicked out. They were killed. They were displaced from their homes because they said we are entitled to this now because of the Rothschilds purchasing it from England.
Nobody said that.
Is this correct?
No, it's not correct. Nobody said that. It was because of a war that they started, and people get displaced from war all the time. You're not special.
Who started?
The Arab Committee.
Who started the war?
The Arab Higher League started the war.
Started the war. Why did they start the war?
Because, again, 4 days before the partition plan vote, the Higher Committee specifically said, we will fight to the last Arab to ensure there will never be a Jewish state.
Because who was living there before and then who lived there after the transaction? That's the whole point. There was a transaction, and then they said, we are now entitled to this, and even though we aren't there. And they sent people, they sent European Jews into a land that was predominantly Arab.
Okay, so when you say they sent, the white papers actually shows that you're wrong. Not only did they not send them there, they actually. You remember that famous photo
So where did they come from? Where did they come from?
Well, I'll get to that in a second, but just let me answer your first point real quick. So you remember that famous photo that Palestinians love to show where the Jews had the sign that said, the Nazis destroyed our homes, don't destroy our hopes and dreams. And they say, oh, look, we welcomed you with open arms. That was actually from the Aliyah ship, Theodore Herzl. That ship never actually made it to the Palestinian region. The British actually captured that ship and sent them to internment camps in Cyprus. The white papers limited the Jews from going to that land. So when you say they brought these European Jews in and like the British were just pumping it, not only did that not happen, the British actually took 78%.
I didn't say the British went there. I said that once the transaction went through, Jews went from Europe into a land that was predominantly Arab Muslim, correct?
Well, first off, a couple things. One, there was a lot more than just Arabs. I would say Muslim, yes, way more than just Arabs.
Okay.
Two, they sold. 1 second, I'm trying to answer you. They sold the land. You understand? Okay, I understand you're getting frustrated, but they sold the land, dude. If you want to talk about genocide today and today's conflict, we can, but you're not going to beat me in history, okay? I'm telling you what happened.
I'm not trying to beat you in anything. I'm not trying to beat you in history either. I'm asking if you think that it's morally okay to displace and kill people after purchasing the land from people.
I'm not saying that. This is a straw man argument.
And people already live there.
This is extreme.
It's not a straw man.
I'm not literally advocating for an ethnostate.
I'm not making it. Are you? This is not.
I'm not
asking you a question so I could.
I'm answering you. No, I don't think that's okay, but I also don't think that's what happened. Okay. That's the problem. You're asking me to answer a question on something that didn't exist. That's not what I think happened, and you're asking me to assume that position and then answer for that position. I don't assume that position in the first place. So again, I'm trying to answer you. I'm trying to keep up. You brought up genocide. Try to go to that, and you're like, no, I want to go back to this. I'm trying to tell you, they sold the land. Are you asking me, is it okay that they sold the land? It happened. That happens all over the world. Do you think United States of America, do you think we should be demolished?
The important question is that right? For people to get displaced from their homes and murdered because of a purchase that they were not involved in. That's correct?
Okay, so again, you're asking me to assume a position, okay? I am not assuming that position. Do I think it is right?
It's a moral question.
Do you think
is it right to kick people out of their homes and kill them because of a purchase that was made by somebody that was not them?
Again, no, but I don't assume that position. This is what you're doing. You're forcing somebody to assume a position. Okay,
I'm asking you a moral
trying to answer you.
I'm not asking you to assume any position. I'm not assuming any position. There's no positions assumed. I asked you a moral question. Is it okay to kill people and kick them out of their homes because of a purchase that they didn't make? You said no. Let's move on to October 7th now.
No, I want to be able to. At what point do I get to ask or answer some questions? Like, you're just asking me questions. You're forcing just one position. You're saying, oh, because he specifically bought the land, is it okay? No, I think it's okay to, when someone wages war against you, I think it's totally okay to defend yourselves. And if that leads to displacement and people dying on both sides, that happens.
Now we know why.
That's what I think is okay.
Wrong. If you believe that was morally wrong and that they were kicked out and that they were killed because of something that they were not involved in, and you believe that
they were involved. The Arab Liberation Army was made up of what you would call Palestinians. They didn't call themselves Palestinians then, but what you would call them.
Not the people, and they weren't responsible for that. So you agree that that's morally wrong?
No.
Let's talk about today, because this is going on. So you have the Iran flag, you have the Israeli flag. You represent it. You're not even Jewish, and you're representing the Jewish state of Israel. Mm-hmm. You side with them, right? The people that call you goy, they don't practice usury the same way with you. You are here shilling for a country that believes.
Dude, you're Muslim. Don't get me started. You're Muslim. You think you guys treat the kafir?
I will get started.
Yeah,
I will get started. I support my people. I support my people. You're supporting people that call you goyim, that don't think that they can practice the same banking with themselves that they practice with you. Yet here you are shilling for the state that you believe started off of a moral incorrection. Mm-hmm. Even though
I don't think that. So once again, I want to make it sure I don't think that at all. You think I think that because you're trying. No, I said you're hypothetical. No, I said you're forced hypothetical. Great. I said you're forced hypothetical. If you're forcing me into that position, I can say certain things about that would be wrong. No, I understand you don't think so. That's why you keep cutting me off and you don't want me to answer why you're wrong and what actually happened. You're cutting me off because you're saying,
it's not hypothetical. It wasn't assuming a position. I said, is that morally wrong? You said, yes, it's morally wrong.
No, that's not morally
wrong.
Now
you're supporting. Okay, but I'm looking at, I don't know you. You have the flags behind you, and you said it. Hold on. You started off by saying that you support the state of Israel, the Jewish state of Israel, right? And you're not Jewish. Okay?
Right.
These people think that you are goyim.
Yeah.
Okay. These people think you're goyim, and they think that they're going to have 2,800 goyim slaves when their Messiah comes. Why do you support these people, especially if you believe in their right to exist as a religious ethnostate? Why do you support them if they believe that you're subhuman?
So I'm not a leftist. I don't know if you are or not. I don't know what your position is politically. I
There's
don't
no
really
right,
do
left.
this
I don't believe in that. I'm Muslim.
I got you. Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about what you guys believe about the kuffar. But anyways, I don't believe in this whole like, oh, it's an ethno-state. Like, dude, that kind of buzzwords isn't going to work on me. I'm sure a lot of leftists, that probably works. Doesn't work on me at all. Most countries in the world would, by your weird definition of ethno-state, would be an ethno-state, other than maybe like some multicultural
Is Judaism
states.
an ethnicity?
Judaism or Jewish?
Is Jewish an ethnicity?
Jewish is colloquially is called an ethno-religion. I don't really like the term. I would say it is a tribe of people, a nation, if you will. But sure, ethno-religion is what they colloquially call it today.
Right. So you just said that you don't believe it's an ethno-state, and so you do or you don't believe it's an ethno-state?
I think there's a lot of ethnicities. That doesn't make something an ethno-state. You just asked me, are Jews an ethnicity?
Are they?
20% of the population are Arabs. Another 5% are non-Jewish, non-Arabs. 1 in every 4 person you see in Israel are not Jewish. I'm sorry,
okay,
what?
But Judaism is an ethno-religion.
What? Yeah, Jews are an ethno-religion.
Okay, so you support this, and you're not that ethnicity, you're not that religion, and they also believe that you will be enslaved because you're a goyim.
Yeah, so that's a Notori Karta belief, and it's an extremely fringe group that most Jews, including other religious Jews, condemn. So you're asking me to go off of this based off of a fringe group that's less than 1%. This is like me saying all Muslims must be Al-Qaeda or the Taliban, and they think this, so Sneako must think it too. That's how ridiculous you sound.
Al-Qaeda, that's separate from the Taliban. This is CIA funded, just like ISIS. This is a separate conversation, not representative of the religion.
That's not the point.
And if so fair. You're going to say that not all Jews.
Are you saying they're not? Are you saying they're not Muslim? Regardless if you think they're funded by one group or not, I don't really care. Are
ISIS,
they Muslim?
Al-Qaeda?
Yeah.
ISIS and Al-Qaeda? No.
Okay, fine. But that's my point, because you don't agree with their beliefs, correct? You don't think their beliefs represent Islam?
Right. Them as a group and their actions, what they're doing, they are clearly funded by CIA and Mossad. This stuff has been proven.
Okay, how about Boko Haram? Are they also funded by CIA or Mossad or both?
I haven't looked that up.
Okay, fine. How about Boko Haram?
Al-Qaeda. You brought up Al-Qaeda. Hold on. Let's. We're going off on tangents, right?
No, I'm saying your point about Notori Karta, who you're quoting and trying to apply it to Judaism as a whole, is like me saying, fine, I won't use Al-Qaeda. I'll say Boko Haram or pick one.
And I'm following your line of logic. I'm saying, so if you think it's fringe groups that believe that the Goyim will be slaves and they'll have 2,800, fine. What's believed in the Torah, right? Because you also agreed that this is the word of God and this is true to them.
Yeah.
They say, okay, in the Torah, it states that they will not practice the same type of banking with Goyim, that they practice with each other. So they don't charge interest on loans between each other, but to you, they do. Do you agree with that?
Okay, yeah, I'll answer that. So that's actually not really the context of the Torah, but I will answer it so I don't go off on a different topic, because I know you don't like that. So I don't particularly care about what people who I don't even believe in their religion think. I care about their action, right? I don't believe in Islam. I don't believe in Judaism. Yes, I believe in some things because, like you said, I believe it's the word of God, but like I don't follow the Talmud. I don't believe in it. That's rabbinical Judaism. That's for them. The Quran is for Islam. Christians, they follow the New Testament. So when you ask me like, well, this one verse says this, I don't really particularly care. Now, if they're doing it to me and there's actions today that I can see, then I'd be more than glad to. They've never done it to me, so I can't comment on it.
No, they are right now. And the same people who purchased the land from England, the Rothschild family, they predominantly control the central bank system. And this is how that system works for them, right? Christians and Muslims did not practice usury within each other. It's forbidden in those religions. Jews believe that this is something that they can do. This type of banking and this type of money that they make, interest on loans, this is how the Rothschild family became so
Christians don't do that
successful.
today? Or Muslims? They don't do that today at all?
They weren't doing it. Muslims don't. I mean, people have corrupted it, but at the time when Israel, even before it was founded,
can I ask one more time, do
Europe,
they do that today? Because I asked you about today. I said I will. Yes. Okay, great.
Muslims and Christians are involved in that type of banking, but this belief is what created the central bank system that we're all a part of. That's how the Rothschild family made the money in order to buy the land that you're supporting.
I
Do
do
you think
not.
it's right for
Yeah,
them
sure. I
to
don't
believe that you're
disagree with people purchasing stuff. And if there is a legal purchase, I don't care if you're Jew, Christian, Muslim. Dude, Arabs were purchasing the land too. Arabs during the Russo-Turkish Wars, there were so many Muslims that moved into Anatolia and the Levant after. I'm not going to criticize them either because that's what people did. Again, you're trying to use today by keep going back to 1948.
No. But I'm talking about what's happening now, right? So they maintain so much power, and that land exists because of the Rothschild family, the same family responsible for the central bank system that all the Goyim are involved in, and that's how they created the power structure that they have. Okay, so you're supporting a people that wouldn't exist without this, and you will not benefit off of it if you really are Goyim.
America also wouldn't exist without a lot of atrocities either, and I still think America should exist. So I'm going to ask you a
100%.
question now because you keep asking me. Do you think America should be demolished? Because they
No,
also
America should not
wouldn't.
be demolished.
Okay, so perfect. I agree. So even if you were right, which you're not, but I know every time I try to correct you, you keep forcing me to go back to this conversation. Even if you were right, though, you're telling me, well, this happened and it was atrocious. It was bad before, and you're supporting it today, so therefore you agree with it. That's as dumb as saying that I should agree with slavery because I support America. I don't believe in this whole like, oh, it's an ethnostate. I don't care, dude. Like, I'm not a leftist. Those buzzwords aren't going to work on me. I don't care. Even if it was an ethnostate,
it's not
which
a
it's
buzzword.
not.
You also agreed with this.
It's literally
you
a
You just did
buzzword.
agree with that.
Agreed with
You
what?
just agreed that it was an ethnostate.
No,
You
I
just
don't.
agreed
I
that
said
Judaism is an
25% of Israel. No, I said Jews are an
Wait a second.
ethno-religion. I didn't say
And wait.
that
Okay,
Israel
fair.
is an
Okay.
ethno-state. It's so ridiculous.
Is Israel a Jewish state?
Yes, of course. Just like Germany is a German state.
Okay, so therefore Israel is an ethno.
Perfect. Is Germany an ethnostate? Is Germany an ethnostate?
No, not by definition. No, it's not.
Okay, is
Many
German
people-
is
many
one
other
second
people live
is
there.
German are Germans an ethnicity?
Yes. But many
Okay.
different
Are most people is
Judaism-
Germany? Hold on, I'm almost done, bro. You've asked me all these questions. Just let me ask. Is Germany a German state?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So notice how I asked the exact same questions you asked me word for word. I just replaced Israel with Germany and Jews with Germans. You answered the exact same way I did. Do you understand how ridiculous your point
know what
is
the difference
now?
is?
Sure, go
The
ahead.
difference is Israel has the right to return. Where if you're Jewish, which you agreed is an ethno-religion, they have the right to go to Israel and take land from people that were living there before.
That's
so
not what
Jews around the
happens.
world can go to Israel, and they have the right to go there. Even if they've been convicted of sex crimes like Jeffrey Epstein, they can flee to Israel, and they don't get
Jeffrey
extradited to
Epstein
America.
flee to Israel?
100% after 2008. You don't know this? What do you mean? Okay,
I'm
you're being
talking
snarky, but
about
this is true.
right. No, I thought you meant you believe he's in Israel right now. There's some people
No,
on
no,
X that
after-
say he is, so I was wondering if you were one of those.
No.
people.
Well, okay, yeah, but after 2008, when he was convicted of
I
sex
know.
crimes,
I want to go back to the
Israel.
conversation.
Hold
got
on, wait. No, this is the same conversation.
It's
the
not.
difference between
I
Germany
think it's
and
funny when
Israel-
I try to correct you on something, you do not like it at all, and now you're trying to go to. I want to go with. You said that Jews have
You
the
brought
right.
up the example of Germany,
to
so
go-
I'm comparing. You made an analogy, and I'm correcting your analogy.
Guy does not
The
want me to
difference is
speak.
they have the right to return. They believe that they are entitled to this place if they're Jewish, which you agreed is an ethno-religion. Israel is a Jewish state. They have the Star of David on the flag right behind you, even as a goy. This is an ethno-state by
So
definition.
Islam
It's
used the
not
Star
liberal.
of David. Just FYI.
It's not a liberal ideology. This is not a leftist argument. It's something that you have also conceded is true.
No, again, you are forcing me not to answer, but a couple words at a time, and then you say I conceded all these things. I haven't conceded that. First off, the Star of David is used in Christian churches, has been used in Islamic mosques also. Have you ever been to Israel or the Palestinian territories?
Of course not. No.
I don't know why you said of course not. I don't know why that's like whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyways, I've been there. This idea that you think
They
that...
wrote my names. Of course you have. They wrote my name on missiles. If I go there, there would be major problems.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But
yeah,
Israel
Wait,
is
hold on.
is a Jewish state. Is Israel not a Jewish state? I don't know why you're like disagreeing with this.
Again,
this
just
leftist.
like
That's
I
the point
think
I'm trying-
Germany is a German state and China is a Chinese one. Yes, I do believe Israel is a Jewish state. That is true. I don't see why that's a problem. Other than like America,
have the
Canada,
right to
arguably
return.
Australia, all of these states by your definition would be ethno-states. And by the way, I don't think that's a problem. That's the problem. Is you think like you're getting me because you're like, oh my god, this guy agrees with I don't care.
The ethno-state, that's not a gotcha question. These are definitions that we need to clarify.
By your definitions with the questions you asked me, it applies to so many countries around the world. And I think those countries are equally just fine. I don't understand what
The
this
difference is-
hyperfixation
okay,
on Israel
Do you,
is.
do you know about the right to return, correct? Where Jewish people are entitled to this land because they're Jewish, and then they have a
Some.
safe home in Israel?
Some do, yeah. It's not
Who
really.
doesn't? What Jews don't?
Yeah, some Jews actually don't. There's actually even pushes for them to take, and I'm not saying I agree with this, but it really doesn't matter to me. Like if someone were to convert reform today, as of right now, it does work. Some are trying to push that out. There's a 1970 addendum. In Saudi Arabia, if you want to get citizenship in the kingdom, your mom has to be Saudi, you have to be able to speak Arabic, and you have to be Muslim. And that's okay. They're their country. If they want to say, if a country tomorrow wants to say we are only allowing people in that have one leg, I think that's weird, but just for like a hypothetical, if they want to do that, they can do that. If Israel tomorrow wants to say this is what we want for our citizenship, they can. If Palestine ever becomes a second state and they say this is our requirement, then let them do whatever the fuck they want. If America tomorrow says this is our requirement to be a citizen, right? So what? I don't understand what your point is.
Okay, but I was asking you. You said that not all Jews are entitled to the state of Israel. The first time I'm hearing that's what I'm asking you.
No, I'm saying after the 1970 right. I already answered this. After the 1970 amendment that they had, addendum, there's some like patrilineals or those that have left the tribe where even if they were like the original point from Ben Gurion was if you had one Jewish grandparent, that was it. And the reason he said that was he was quoted saying that the Nazis determined that you were Jewish if you had one Jewish grandparent, so therefore that's what we're going to determine. It's been amended since 1970. I'm not particularly saying that's right or wrong. I don't particularly care because
amended
once again,
to what? So now it's both your parents have to, or your mother has to be. Well, what is the agreement now?
yeah, you have to identify as Jewish, someone who hasn't left the tribe or denounced their Judaism. Right, so it's not so much based as much on ethnicity, but it still is. And there's some, it hasn't happened. There's some that are also trying to push out Reform Judaism, right? If they've converted via Reform instead of Orthodox. Again, not for me to say if that's right or wrong.
Idea. And again, yeah, that does reinforce the ethnostate idea you're against. The second one is there's so many. How many people in Israel, do you know the stats? How many of them are atheist Jews or secular Jews that don't even really follow the commandments?
Yeah, I'm not sure of that. I can look it up. I don't know the exact number. Do you?
I think it's around 50 to 60%. They're ethnically Jewish, but they're not practicing. So it's a very secular country.
When you say practicing, do you mean like atheists or just like maybe they're not Orthodox?
Practicing, consistently going to synagogue, following the commandments.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Believes.
That's why it's an ethno-religion. So they could be practicing. They're just not consistently going to synagogue, is what you're saying?
What I'm saying is the priority is ethnicity for them. As long as they are Jewish by ethnicity, that's what matters more to them than faith. Then Tel Aviv wouldn't be the gayest city in the world as they. Yeah. So the Times of Israel brags about how Tel Aviv is the gayest city in the world. They boast about their gay pride parades. Stuff like this is forbidden in Judaism, but it's so accepted in Israel because it's a very secular place. So even though it is a Jewish ethno-state, they still allow for so many atheist Jews and secular Jews to practice gay pride parades because the priority is the ethnicity, not the faith.
Yeah, again, there's a lot that actually disagree with that in Israel, and there's a lot that don't. That's why it's a democracy. There are parties that say it's okay, and there are some that absolutely hate that. It's
a democracy, but Palestinians get arrested in Israel if they say free Palestine. The IDF.
I literally have a video on my page at a pro-Palestinian protest in Haifa. They didn't get arrested. They were saying free Palestine. When they started chanting globalize the Intifada, and even still, many of them weren't arrested, just the ones that chanted that, then they arrested them and they were released immediately. But they were put to a stop. But they were screaming and holding signs that said free Palestine. You're literally lying right now, dude. I was in Haifa, which is in Israel.
I just spoke to two, actually, two or three today and three yesterday that said the same thing.
The Tel Aviv University had the Palestinian flags flying at a protest and they weren't arrested. You're saying they get arrested just for saying free Palestine?
You were using anecdotal evidence. You were saying using anecdotal evidence, saying you went to Israel, of course,
that I have a video of,
yeah, of course, saying that you saw protests. I'm using anecdotal evidence. I just spoke to two or three people, and I think it was two or three yesterday that said the same thing, that they will get arrested and they're under threat if they vocalize the fact
and
that they're Palestinian and they don't say Israeli. And also,
and the second example I gave up, you can look up on the internet. It's not anecdotal.
or you presented it as anecdotal evidence.
No, I'm saying the second example I gave was not anecdotal. You're right. The first one was.
Sure. Okay. Let's speak about Epstein, right? Because you agree that Epstein was horrible.
Yes, he was horrible.
You don't
he
care
was an
about
awful
Jeffrey
person.
Epstein.
I don't care about how you keep trying to deflect. I'd like to focus.
I'm not trying to deflect. There's focus on.
You don't let me speak at all. I want to go to the original
You've been speaking 80% of the time.
80%. I promise you, it's not been 80%. You have asked almost every question, and you originally brought up genocide. We talked about it for very little, and then you moved on from it. I want to know why you think it is a genocide today.
Because they have wiped out the entire civilization. They made it clear that they want to starve them out. They're cutting off the water supply. The ratio since October 7th of murder has been 70-1. This follows so many definitions
70 to 1
even
what?
looked up.
70 to 1 what?
70-1. They said it's a war, but the ratio of deaths is about 70-1, and that's just
70 to 1 what? What are you saying? Are you saying combatant to civilian? Or civilian to combatant?
This is why you're getting really angry. This is an easy ratio to understand. This is the ratio of deaths, right? This is why I'm saying it's a genocide, not a war. October 7th, which Israel had.
Can you tell me what the ratio is? You still haven't told me.
I just said death.
What do you mean?
There's been 70%, 700% more death on the Palestinian side than there has been on the Israeli side. It's been
That's not what genocide is defined as.
I just cited multiple reasons, and this is part of the reason why.
Right, can you tell me why
you get angry when you ask a question.
I'm literally not angry.
And I'm answering your question. Okay, but you're interrupting, and I'm answering your question. You said, why is it a genocide? Okay, and I'm explaining. Since October 7th, which Israel had foreknowledge of, it said around 1,000 Israelis were killed. Okay, maybe it was 800, maybe it was 900.
It was 1,200.
They said that there were 40 beheaded babies. That never happened.
They never said that. They never said that. Yes, that was a French reporter. That was a French reporter who misquoted that and was corrected.
Was allegedly saying this.
Yes, they all got that wrong. It wasn't corrected immediately. Yep, it was actually.
They got it wrong. So the 40 beheaded babies, that was a lie. It
wasn't by Israel. That was a French reporter who got that wrong, and Israel was the one that corrected.
If you don't think Ben Shapiro is Israel, then that's okay. That was a narrative. That was a mainstream Zionist narrative at the time of October 7th. Since then, the ratio of deaths on each side is 70-1. You look like you do.
You said the Israeli government said it. I don't. If Ben Shapiro said that and got it wrong, then great. He's wrong.
I didn't say that.
So when you said they, you meant Ben Shapiro? That's your argument?
I meant Jewish supremacists and Zionists as a whole, not the Israeli government, which you said.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Can we get back to what Israel did and how it's a genocide then? Not their lies that you think they did. Just why is it a genocide? Just tell me why it's a genocide.
I'm answering you to keep interrupting.
Got it. It's a genocide because Ben Shapiro lied about.
Wow, I can't answer the question. I can't answer the question. Wow.
You answer the question. That'd be great.
Yeah. You're not letting me talk, and you keep going. Do you want to hear the answer?
If you answer the question asked, yes, I do.
Okay. Are you okay now?
I'm literally waiting.
You're good? Okay. Since October 7th, 70 times more Palestinians have died than Israelis. Israel had foreknowledge of October 7th. They allowed this attack to happen. They used this to justify killing, bombing, destroying Gaza completely. Now it's completely leveled. There are almost no buildings there. Mostly people live in tents. This is not the city that it was beforehand. October 7th was a pretext.
Wasn't a city before.
Most of the people in Gaza, yes, it was. Most people in Gaza are children. They have predominantly, I think over 50% of the population are under 18. Since then, there's many videos of IDF trying to shoot the electricity supply to turn off their power.
Still
destroying
waiting
their water
for
supply.
Just genocide. I'm still
This is what genocide is.
That's not what
Starvation
genocide
is part of it. If they just wanted to retaliate, if they just wanted to defeat Hamas, they said that they were using human shields. This is how they justified bombing hospitals.
At what point do I get to answer? I got it. You're bringing up possible war crimes. This is still not genocide, but a couple
100%.
things.
They followed so many war crimes. I didn't even finish. I didn't even finish.
Are you going to get to the genocide part? The Dolus Specialis?
So many reasons why it's genocide.
Okay, it's concreticide, you guys. They destroyed all the buildings. Got it.
No, I said that they killed 70 times
Also, he thinks the Gaza Strip is a city.
Yeah, not anymore.
It wasn't a city before.
The infrastructure is completely leveled.
All right, just so you know, Gaza
Second-
Strip, FYI, the Gaza Strip is not a city. It has cities in it. It's actually 5 governorates, just FYI.
The point is,
Yeah.
I'm differentiating between war and genocide. If it was a war, then the human shield lie that they purported, they said Yahya Sinwar was hiding behind human shields. They found him fighting on the front lines without human shields.
He wasn't
They
in the
said
front
Hamas
lines.
was hiding-
The front lines was in Gaza City at
Yes,
the
he
time.
was.
He was in Rafah, which is on the other side of the Gaza Strip. It's not even close to
But
the
he
Gaza
was not
City.
hiding. The important part was he was not hiding behind the
He
human
was
shields.
with
they
2
lied about.
bodyguards.
This is not human shields. This is
Right,
the justification
so-
they use to bomb every building, to bomb hospitals, to bomb schools.
Can I answer at any point?
They said they were human shields, and they said we need to go get Hamas. We need to go kill Hamas. Okay,
Right.
the hospitals that they destroyed, Hamas wasn't there. They were
Great.
fighting.
So
You-
Mohammed
you're putting
Sinwar
your-
was where?
Yahya Sinwar.
Mohammed Sinwar, his brother, fucktard? The other guy? The other Sinwar?
Why do you get zesty when you talk about genocide? This
It's
is a
not about that. You
complicated-
try to correct me. You don't even know who Mohammed Sinwar is. You're like, you mean Yahya Sinwar?
Okay.
Mohammed Sinwar is the other
Okay.
dude.
I was talking. I didn't mention
Right,
Mohammed
where was
Sinwar,
he?
which is why this.
I understand. You said there was no Hamas guys under hospitals. I'm asking you.
I'm not talking about his brother. This is what they said. Yahya Sinwar was hiding behind human shields. He wasn't.
First off, I don't know anyone that
They said
said that. They came out and said they killed him in Rafah. He was about
Google
a
it
week
yourself.
or two. I'm
This
just
was
gonna answer
countless
you real
reports.
quick.
They said-
About
They said
2
he was
weeks.
coward. I haven't even finished answering your first question.
But you're
about
going so
genocide.
many points. At what point do I get to like at least
Because
answer
this is
one of the
proof
points?
that it's not war. This is proof that
Yeah,
it's not
but you
war,
don't
it's a
want to
genocide.
hear. But
If
you
they
don't want to hear
purposely
any
target-
counters because you're scared to hear
if
the
they purposely-
counters.
You know, I'm not scared. Do you think I'm scared of you? If
I-
they are purposely
you're
targeting
losing
innocent
terribly.
civilians, if they're definitely targeting
Lovely
innocent
midnight.
civilians
Thank you.
under the guise and under the lie that they're just attacking Hamas, that is proof of genocide and not war.
Great.
They don't
so
care
at
about
what points
eradicating
do
Hamas.
I get
Hamas
to
propaganda.
answer? You guys notice how he doesn't
Go ahead.
want me to answer? Okay, perfect.
Because
So
I haven't finished it. Even
I
haven't
understand
even
you
finished answering
probably
your question.
have
I haven't
many
even finished.
buzzwords and points. I'm sure you do, but we can
It's not-
talk about
buzzwords.
it.
I'm-
Sneako, got it. We can still talk about something. It doesn't mean it's over after that. We can expand after. I know you know how conversations work. It's okay. If you
Yeah.
go down, so
But
it's
you
very
got, you got
easy.
angry. You got
I'm
angry that
not
you couldn't
angry.
ask a question that I would. You said I'm afraid of your question.
Literally
While I'm
not-
answering your question,
I got you.
while I'm answering the question that you got angry about,
I'm
you
literally
interrupt.
not angry. I know you keep saying I'm angry. I'm speaking at a very normal voice. I'm not angry. And I know this is like what people say when they're like crashing out. They're
Well,
like, "Oh,
you
you're so
have this
mad."
conversation.
I'm not mad.
There's no one crashing. You're doing like snarky things. You're like, ugh. You're
That
like,
doesn't
ugh,
make
this is
someone
ah.
mad. That just okay.
Then
that's-
sassy. Then you're being. I'm answering your question
Gotcha.
and you become sassy.
Okay, and you're answering incorrectly, and I can't tell you why it's incorrect. So you said a lot of things. So you said, amongst many things, because it's very easy to label 30 points in 30 seconds. It's not easy to break down 30 points in 30 seconds. And I know you know this. You debate. You understand this. And so that's what a lot of pro-pallies do, is they want to, no, I'm still answering. And they go, ba. And then if you get to maybe answering 1 or 2 points, then they pretend they still won because 28 points weren't answered. So you said no Hamas members were hiding in hospitals or under them or anywhere near them, right? And I asked you, what about Mohammed Sinwar, who was the leader of Hamas after his brother died? He died hiding underneath the European hospital, right? So yes, they do. And furthermore, with the water being cut off, let's start with that. That was one of the first things you mentioned. I forgot a lot of what you said. So the water being cut off, are you saying the water was cut off like permanently or just temporarily? Because about only...
There's videos of IDF soldiers shooting the water supply.
Right, so about 85 to 90% of water actually comes from inside Gaza via aqueducts and desalination, right? Only about 10 to 13% of water comes from 3 separate pipelines from Israel. So even if you're saying they're shooting the pipelines, that's not cutting off the water. That would be one pipe, assuming you're telling the truth, but that's not cutting off the water. First off, how long do people live
Just some of
without
the water
water?
supply.
Well, no,
How
first off,
long
I don't
do
even
people
know what
live
you're.
without water?
I have no idea what you're talking about. But regardless, this idea of they cut off the water. First off, they would all be dead. All 2.1 million people in Gaza would be dead.
That's
if
the
that was
intention
case.
to shoot. That's the intention to cut off.
So
the
why
water
wouldn't they just
supply.
cut off all water if that's what they wanted to do? If that's what their intention was, just do it all then.
Yes, obviously that would be horrible optics upon Israel, but their soldiers are doing it. They definitely took orders to do that. But if it was that explicit, then people like you
Wait.
wouldn't be shilling for them.
So wait,
as
hold
much
on.
as
So
you
you're
are.
saying that that's their intention. They were ordered to do it, but they also at the same time don't want to do it because it would be bad optics. How the fuck does that make any sense? Was it really bad
They
optics,
definitely
or
got
they wanted to
specific
do
orders.
it?
Maybe it was the specific intentions. Obviously, they aren't being punished if they're able to do it that way. IDF soldiers are shooting the water supply. Whether or not they got specific orders, maybe it was not a
Wait, so you're admitting you made that up then?
declaration of the. No, I didn't made it up. There's videos of IDF soldiers shooting the water supply.
No, I meant
They
the
weren't
getting
punished for it.
orders from the higher whoever, whether it's their security higher up or the government or Bibi himself. I don't know.
The point is, if they feel comfortable enough to do this, they know they can get away with it. So yeah, I didn't.
That's not my
make up that
ask
it was
you.
a
You said they
specific
got
order.
orders from the higher ups. Did you make that up?
No, I said potentially. I said potentially.
Oh, potentially. Okay, good. So you made it up. Perfect. So next
No,
point.
I said the IDF. No, I didn't make up the fact that IDF soldiers are shooting off the water supply.
You
and
know that's not
destroying
what
the
I
food
said.
Supply.
You know
These
that's not
videos
what I said.
exist of them destroying the eggs. When the food goes in, they destroy the crates. They made it an effort to starve them out, and IDF soldiers are making an effort to make them.
So over 2
have
million
no water.
tons, according to UNRWA, the United Nations, and even the Israeli government, but you don't believe them, so I'll go with the other two. Over 2 million tons of food had went into the Gaza Strip. According to the World Food Program, about 90,000 tons lasts the Gaza Strip about 2 months, right? Because they said it's 1 million people for 4 months. There's about 2 million people in Gaza, so for about 2 months. Even if you reverse do the math, that would be about 2.5 to 3 years of food, give or take, right? Just doing quick math. According to the World Food Program, this isn't like some Israeli source, it's the World Food Program. That's what they said would last the Gaza Strip. So when you're saying they're trying to like starve them out, why would they allow over 2 million tons of food to go into the Gaza Strip? And this wasn't 2 million tons that they wanted to but didn't. This is the ones that actually went into the Gaza Strip.
The point is, it's genocide because cutting off the food and water is not intentionally to get Hamas.
Okay.
All the civilians they all need food and water. And if you don't believe it, the UN agencies, particularly the UNRWA and the WFP,
Are you saying
the World
UNRWA?
Food Program, yeah, they have reported that this is the abbreviation. You can say
UNRWA
it
is
how
a
you want.
Palestinian
Have reported-
organization, just FYI.
Right. The UN, but this is coming from the UN agency. They report Israeli authorities.
Right.
This is not just soldiers. So I stand corrected. These are Israeli authorities, not specific soldiers. They have blocked and restricted food convoys into Gaza.
Right, for 2
they've
months they
limited
did
aid.
that, which is allowed per Article 51 of the Geneva Conventions. It specifically says that you're allowed to temporarily block food, right, for security measures as long as adequate food's in there. They had 8 months saved up before that moment when they started. I think it was from January to March. It was about maybe 2.5 months. I think it was the middle of March that they blocked food. They're allowed to do that per Article 51.
They're allowed to block food in a such genocide.
Temporarily, correct, as long as there is adequate food, which
So
the UN has
temporarily
determined was
starve them.
about 8
So
months.
how long?
It's not temporarily
it's 8 months
starving
when-
them.
Okay, when did that happen?
That was actually before the starvation claim even actually came out by the IPC report. So there was actually no even starvation
what
claim
year?
even when that was happening.
What,
That was
what year
the
did that happen?
2024, I believe it was.
Okay, and then again, they did it in 2025. The World Food Program reported that food stocks for hot meals, they ran out on April 25, following a 7-week block on aid. So Israeli authorities.
so then it was
blocked food from
2025
coming
I'm
in
talking
for
about.
7 weeks.
Right.
No, that's a separate one. You said it was several months. This is 7 weeks, and this is afterwards. This
No,
is a
I
separate
said
starvation.
2 months. I hope you know 7 weeks is about 2 months. You understand that, right, Sneako?
But you said it was the years prior.
I said it was
wasn't in
January to
2025.
March. I couldn't remember if it was 2025 or 2024. I'm assuming you're reading January to March of 2025, right?
No, this is April.
April?
April 2025.
Right, that's
World
after.
Food Program report.
Right. You said that was after the
Yeah.
blockade, so you are talking about January to March. April would be the month after March. So it's talking about what already
Yeah,
happened.
but you're
correct?
starting in January. 7 weeks. 7 weeks is not until January. The point
It is.
starvation.
January plus
Okay.
7 weeks would get you to March, unless you not January 1st. I'm saying in January. Do you understand there's 4 weeks in a month, right, Sneako?
Yeah, 100%. The point is that this is intentional starvation. That's the point.
Okay. So
Cutting
how
off
many
the food
people
and water supply
starved?
is
How
an
many people
intentional
starved?
starvation.
How many people starved in Gaza? Like died from starvation?
They're saying, okay, from the humanitarian crisis, this is again from the World Food Program, over 2 million people in Gaza are severely food insecure with famine-like
No,
conditions.
I asked you how many
2
people
million
died from
people.
starvation.
I don't have that stat off the top of my head.
According
but I have
to
2 million
Hamas-
people.
Yeah, according to
They have
Hamas,
2 million people. The World Food Program. So, okay, people can die from many causes. Starvation is a gateway to different diseases, to different sickness. This is a way to kill people slowly. So say they have COVID after they have been starved with famine-like conditions. then
When
it
did
will
they
be
start
reported as a
starving
COVID
them?
death. They are still being
I got
starved.
you. I'm telling you why you're wrong. So when did the starvation start? Was it October 8th, 2023? When did they say we are now going to start starving them?
October 7th, 2023.
Okay, so and it went throughout the entire war, correct?
On and off since then, yes.
Okay, so for about 2 years, these magical people were being starved, which starve is when your body literally starts to eat itself. You're saying that these people, strongest people in history, I guess, they were all being starved. Yet somehow, even at the end of the war, Hamas claimed those that died from not just starvation, but just malnutrition was less than, according to Hamas, I don't believe their numbers, but let's go with it, was less than 400 people. In a society of 2.1 million, hold on one sec. 2.1 million people. Hold on one sec. Hold on one sec.
2 million people with famine-like
here we
conditions.
go.
2 million people. So, okay,
So
you
you
just want
said
to report specific starving to death.
That's
Literally,
not the
your
same
body
thing.
incapable.
No, starvation
Okay.
is level 5. Okay, I'm trying to answer you, but you keep cutting me off. So starvation,
The point is
according
you're trying
to the
to kill them.
wow,
You want to
he
define
really
starvation.
doesn't want to.
The point.
He really doesn't want to hear
the bigger
the
point.
answer.
Okay, you want to.
So just
you
so
want to be
everyone knows,
specifically,
level 5 is
how
what's
many people-
required for starvation. Level 5
Okay.
is what's required for
The
starvation,
point
according
is
to the
they are
IPC.
cutting off the food supply to kill them. That's
So
the
no,
bigger point,
that's
not the
actually
definition
not
of starvation.
true.
I know you want to harp on definitions. 2 million people have reported having famine-like conditions according to the World
Famine is
Food
not
Program.
even close to starvation. Most war zones have famine-like
I am
conditions.
aware, but
so you're changing, you're
forcing-
moving the goalpost from
I'm not-
starvation to normal things that happen in a lot of wars, especially in urban warfare conflict. I agree with you. There was a lot of people that had food insecurity. That happens in urban warfare.
Yeah.
You didn't say that. You're moving the goalpost because you're getting proven wrong. You said they
Not
were
moving the goalpost,
starving
no,
to death. You understand the difference between
Yeah.
starvation and famine?
Oh my Lord.
Famine
Yeah,
has
yeah.
5
Famine
levels
is-
according to the IPC. Level 5 would be starvation.
It's a slow process, and the intention is to weaken.
It's so
and
slow
kill
that
them.
after 2 years, less than 400 people died, according to Hamas, by the way. Very, very, very slow process. They had
That is the intention of
70,000
starving
birds.
people.
You know what happens
What would
during
the other intention
starvation?
be?
Got it.
What would
Do
the
you
other
know what
intention be?
happens? Right.
2 million people with famine. What's the other intention besides killing and weakening
Yeah,
them?
that happens in urban warfare. That's not an Israel-specific thing or Gaza-specific thing. Urban
So, is
warfare
that right?
creates these
Is that right?
conditions.
Is that correct?
I think war is
Because
always wrong.
Hamas is not starving Israel.
Sure, I'd be more than
Okay,
glad
so
to
it's- so it's
answer you.
wrong.
I
Great.
think
So-
war.
so
Okay, you
starving
don't.
people is- starving
It's
people is
funny how
wrong.
you ask me a question, but
There you
you
go.
don't want to hear the answer. This is what people
Sounds
do
familiar.
when they're losing a
Sounds
debate.
familiar. Oh,
I
sounds-
understand.
wow. I'm getting.
Do you have something to say? I'd
deja
love to
vu right
hear
now.
it. You asked me a
Yes.
question,
The intention of cutting off food supply is
so
to
you're just
kill
repeating
people.
yourself.
That's the
Okay.
bigger point. If
Got
you want
it.
to define famine specifically, the greater
Mhm.
point is Israel is trying to starve them to death.
Uh-huh. Okay, can I answer now? Because you're just repeating what you've already said 3 times.
I didn't ask you a question.
Actually, you
I'm telling
did. You
what
asked me,
this
do I
is.
think it's wrong? You did literally ask a question.
And you agreed.
I
and you
didn't
agreed, and
agree.
I'm telling
You
you now.
said I
you
agreed.
just
I
said- you
never
just said-
did.
You just said this
I-
act of war is wrong.
No, I didn't say that. See, that's the problem.
Oh.
I
just
said it. Okay, see, this is the problem when you're trying to. You're losing so bad. You're
You
trying
just
to
said
just
that.
yell over me.
We all heard it.
I'm literally
yelling
recording
over
this.
you.
I promise you,
No
I
one's
didn't
yelling.
say it. I said I
streaming it and we all
believe
saw it.
war. I got it. I said I believe war is bad. That's true. I didn't say what you said was bad. War does
You
create
said
conditions.
urban warfare. You said starvation is urban warfare. Then you said war is bad.
I didn't
Therefore,
say
starving
that.
people in this
No,
forced famine
I said
is bad.
famine, not starvation. I said famine
It's an act of
conditions.
urban warfare.
Right, not starvation. You notice how you changed my words? So I didn't say
You said
starvation.
famine was an act. No.
Okay, he's cutting me off again. Go ahead.
Okay. What you want to follow these legal definitions? Do you think it's
not?
wrong?
That's actually not a legal definition. This is just actually just reality.
Whatever.
I'm not even saying anything legal right now.
Just ask you as a person. Do you
Okay,
think
so
it's
you're not
right
going to let me
that two-
answer. Okay.
I'm not asking. This is the question I'm asking you. Do you think it's right that 2 million people in Palestine have famine conditions?
Do I think it's right based off what? Like, do I think Israel's doing it, or do I think the
Do you
war
think
conditions
Do you
doing
think
it?
that's more? Do you think
I
that's
think-
morally right?
I think it's
while
very-
the world is watching and you're hold up.
He's still.
You're
interrupting.
defending a place and you're against it, right?
Mhm.
2 million people have
Not
famine-like
against it.
conditions. Is this something you're okay with?
Yeah, so I'm going to answer this, but I need you to let me answer, okay? I think it's very easy to ask these virtue signaling questions like, hey, do you think cancer's wrong? Hey, do you think war's bad? Hey, do you think... Yes, Sneako, I think all these things are wrong. What I don't want to answer is when you remove context from a situation and force this like leftist style argument where you force people to answer.
Okay, so who's responsible?
I'm trying to finish. One more sentence and I promise I'll let you go. When you force these arguments to ask vague questions, and when someone answers that vague, like, do you think cancer's bad question? And I say yes, then you go, see, he says cancer's bad. Why doesn't he put more funding into it? That, yes, I think war's bad, Sneako. Oh my God, is war bad? Yes, I do.
So you agree it's bad that 2 million people have famine-like conditions in Palestine. Do you also agree that Israel is the nation responsible for this famine?
No.
No, they're not responsible for it. Who's responsible?
So can you just real quick? I'm gonna ask you a question.
Oh my Lord!
I'll tell you who's responsible.
Who's responsible?
Yeah,
I mean, look. So this is according to the NGO challenges that say that nearly 90% requests for aid were rejected. I provided evidence that Israel's cutting off the food supply. So they are clearly directly responsible.
Right.
This is coming from the UN. This is coming from the World Food Program. That Israel is responsible for the famine of 2 million people.
Great. So yeah, they
you're saying that it's close to cancer. Yes, cancer is like, it's bad that people have cancer, but if we could prevent it, we should. So we can prevent the starvation.
You cannot.
And you're supporting the nation that's responsible for it.
It's not starvation, and I'd be more than glad to answer, but you really don't want me to.
Famine. The nation that you're defending is responsible. Is the nation you're defending responsible for this famine?
You already asked that, Sneako. Do you forget already?
Okay. You have many sources why. There's no, what's the other explanation?
Yeah, so again, when you remove all context with these vague virtue signaling questions, it's very easy to just get yes or no's because that's what you're looking for. You're not looking for explanation. So what I'm going to say is, can you name for me, because I'm going to ask you a question, I know it might be hard, can you name for me any urban warfare where even a city, a state, borders, whatever you want to call it, big or small, that was isolated by the other belligerent, that gave more food or even as much food as Israel has sent in, even with all that 90% denial, has sent into the Gaza Strip? Can you name one time in all of even just, I was just going to say modern history, but even history, where they allowed more food or even as much food as, even according to UNRWA, the United Nations, has gone into the Gaza Strip? Can you name? How about Saudi Arabia with Yemen? Has Saudi Arabia in 10 years given more food?
So
you're not going to answer, are you?
So you're not going to answer the question. The question was, who's responsible for this starvation?
Yeah, so I think war, again, I don't think there's a mass starvation. You are trying to use the word famine, apply mass starvation. First off, even the IPC didn't even say there was starvation across the whole Gaza Strip. They only classified that for the Gaza government.
Well, you want to bring up the IPC?
Please bring it up. I read all 87 pages. Please bring it up. I will fucking school you on the IPC report. It says Gaza government was labeled as a level 5. Do you know what the Gaza government is, Sneako?
641,000 people were projected to be in IPC Phase 5 starvation.
Right, projected. When did they actually claim it? Projection is not when they actually label it. So can you tell me?
This is a lie?
No, of course not. What I said is projection is what they do. The way the IPC reports do is they make a projection and then they determine if that projection is correct. There was only one time that they actually determined that, and it was for the Gaza government. Do you know what the Gaza government is? For the second time I'm asking.
You're still deflecting.
It's literally the same exact subject.
Who is responsible for the famine?
I've already answered this. War and urban warfare caused...
So war is responsible. War is responsible for the famine.
So no, I'm trying to answer beyond that, but you only let me say one or two words, and then you cut me off.
So war is not... There's people that are cutting off supply. War is not responsible for the acts.
You notice how he was very cordial at the beginning, and then when he started losing, he cuts off a lot.
Very, very cordial right now, because you're
not letting me answer beyond one word. I was trying to answer.
War is a very...
You're correct. That's a dumb answer because it's not the full answer. You're right. That's true, Sneako. Okay. When you cut people off after one word, it does kind of...
Because it's a people responsible for it. What people are responsible for
Well, actually, that's not particularly true. I say it's a group. I wouldn't just say it's just a people,
What group of people?
So what I would say is who started the war. War causes these... Let me say more. I can already tell you're about to interrupt. War causes these conditions in every urban warfare conflict in all of modern history. The fact that you think it's like some kind of specialty for just Gaza or Israel is laughable. So when you ask who started the war, very clearly, this war, post-October 7th, was started by Hamas and the collaborators of Hamas, like the PIJ, PFLP, DFLP, Army of Islam, PRC, Mujahideen brigades, etc. So that's the full answer. I just needed to get to it. Go ahead.
They have been bombed, and we started with 1948, and I'm very glad we started.
Why did we start with 48? Why would you start with 48?
Because they've been kicked out of their homes, because this does not start on October 7th. This has been
I agree. It didn't start on October 7th.
This is when it was declared a war. You said that war was responsible. We have clarified in the beginning who started taking the land. Therefore, the people that moved in there was already a civilization. They are responsible for the war.
Oh, okay,
they are the ones who started.
So when did the war start? You said 48?
Yes.
In 1936, when they targeted and slaughtered 510 Jews during the Third Jaffa riots, what was the reason for that if it didn't start till 48, Sneako? Can you answer that without deflecting?
We're talking about this land, these people.
It was literally, I'm talking about the exact same land, Sneako. I'm not talking, literally in Palestine. Why did they target and slaughter 510 Jews during the Third Jaffa riots? That was 12 years, started 12 years before 1948. So you said, and I quote, it started in 1948. I wanted to make sure I heard you say that. So can you explain, without deflecting, can you explain why they did that?
States. No, we're talking about the states of Israel and Palestine.
Oh, so you want to purposely start it only on the convenient year for you, and you want to ignore everything before?
Because you will move. Wow. Because you are trying to talk about it's a conflict between two nations. So if we're going to talk about conflict between two nations, because you're saying war is
I didn't say two nations. Hamas is not a nation. That was a stupid point. That was a really stupid point.
Right. Okay,
never said two
nations.
nations.
Clearly the resistance. That's the resistance.
Not of a nation. Like not of a nation.
That's like saying, okay, that's
the IDF is Israel. What is Hamas?
It's a political organization that
not of a nation.
Majority voted in.
Not of a nation.
According to you.
According to international law, according to anyone that's not delusional.
Keep on going about semantics. So you're saying that war is responsible, so it's between two groups of people.
Right. So answer my question about 36. What was the reason? You notice how he won't answer it. Why, if you said it started in 48, what was the reason for slaughtering 510 Jews in 36? Why is that such a hard question to answer? It's not a ridiculous question. You said it started in 48.
Tell me.
Well, I can tell you is because it isn't just about Zionism or Israel. It's about Jews. But you don't believe that, so I have to ask you. Don't ask me to answer for you. Just because you don't have an answer, why would I answer for you?
I'm answering a question. Between two groups of people, this could only be because you're going on about semantics and legal definitions. It started in 1948. This is when this conflict started.
Wow, how convenient.
This is the pretext for what happened on October 7th. It's not convenient.
So the Balfour Declaration wasn't involved at all? Because that was in 1917.
It did not come into action until 1948. Oh,
actually, the Balfour Declaration never came into... Wait, stop. You just got something else wrong. The Balfour Declaration never applied because the Balfour Declaration was prior to 1921 when the British... Correct. The British created the Transjordan, the Emirate of Transjordan in 1921. So the Balfour Declaration actually referred to all of today's Jordan and today's Israel, Palestine, whatever you want to call it. And they took 77, really 78% of the land, gave it to the Arabs, kicked out all the Jews, by the way, that lived there and legally owned land there, kicked them all out and said no Jews were allowed to migrate there. Ironically, Jews didn't seem to become fucking terrorists after that. They didn't start screaming. Actually, why is there no free Palestine movement in Jordan today? They took the Palestinian land. They don't call it Palestine. The governing power in Jordan are not Palestinians. Why is it that they don't call for a free Palestine? And we're not talking about a tiny portion. It's 78% of the entire land.
Okay, so now you went to Jordan. We went off of several different topics.
We don't have to go to Jordan if you want to answer about 36. That'd be great, since you deflected from that.
Right. So, I mean, Jews have been kicked out of land. They've been kicked out of 100.
I don't know what that has to do with my question. This is a total deflection. Right. Why did they, if it didn't start...
This is a deflection. This is a separate subject.
If it didn't start until 48, then why did they kill Jews in 1936 if it had nothing to do with this conflict? Because you said it didn't start until 48. So please,
if you want to take, but the reason it's a deflection, because if you want to talk about the expulsion of Jews, if you want to talk about the fact that they've been kicked out of countries,
I'm not talking about that at all. You're talking about that. I never mentioned that once. I said, why did they
separate from Israel and Palestine?
Literally talking about in Palestine, in the land in 1936. They slaughtered 500. How about this? 1929 in Hebron. Do you know where Hebron is, Sneako? Do you agree that's Palestine?
Separate conversation. So
it's the same thing. We're
these
talking about the
riots.
conflict.
Mhm.
So
The
in
riots, well,
1929,
you're saying 1936. Let's answer this one. You said 1936. So we can
you
move
do
on
want to
another
answer it.
subject.
So somebody finally gave you the answer.
Okay.
Cool. Let's hear it.
All right. You've been listening to AI and reading your thing.
I'm
It was
literally,
riots, and even then, it's reported
literally
too,
looking
it's
at the
reported
screen.
that Yeah, it was riots, right? So people died. People die in riots. There's always infiltration from different intelligence groups. And actually, Arabs defended the Jews in these riots. They're not
Oh, really?
responsible
That's
for
why they
this.
slaughtered them. Interesting. How about in 1929 in Hebron?
How do you blame that?
In
How do you say about the Arabs that were
1929.
defending the Jews?
Yeah, so again, I'm telling you about what happened physically, right? This idea, whatever your friend sent you, is ridiculous. In 1929, they went to an anti-Zionist community. Ones that were so anti-Zionist that the Haganah went to go defend them, and they said, "Get out of here, you Zionists." They went to them, and they great. They went, Haganah? No, you're thinking maybe Irgun, but Haganah? What are you talking? Whatever, you're just trying to deflect. 1929, they went to an anti-Zionist community and slaughtered them. Why did they do that? I thought it was about Israel and Zionism. What was the purpose of slaughtering anti-Zionist Jews for?
Well, the Arabs were defending. To call that a genocide is not equivalent to what's going on.
I didn't call that a genocide. I never called that a genocide. I don't even know why you said that. That was a stupid answer.
Applying this response completely to Arabs or Muslims is
I'm applying it specifically to you saying the conflict started in 48. I think it's very convenient to say it started. I think it's ridiculous when people say the whole conflict started on October 7th. It's stupid. It's dumb. Of course the conflict didn't start on October 7th. This specific context started on October 7th, but the conflict, of course it didn't. It's equally as stupid to say it started on this arbitrary date. It's ridiculous. You sound just as dumb. You sound just as dumb as people who say it started on October 7th. Right.
I sound dumb. It's as stupid as somebody like you, a goyim, defending a state that would not
exist. Goyim is plural, genius.
Would not,
just so FYI.
Yeah, okay, goyim, you're a goy, goys, whatever. Perfect. I'm glad you know it because you are one and you're one of the top goys.
It means nation in Hebrew. Stupid, I know, crazy.
There's nothing more stupid than somebody here who's defending a state that was using pedophile blackmail to get American politicians money. Right here. So who did Epstein work for? If you're going to say I'm stupid, you're here. Epstein
really wants to change the subject.
If you really are white, changes because you're going to talk about stupidity. There's nothing more stupid. There is nothing more stupid than a goy sitting here defending a state that allowed Epstein.
You're right. I should defend Muslims.
To rape children.
Okay. I guess I should defend Muslims. Then
why are you supporting a state?
No, convince me. Tell me why I should defend Muslims.
No, no. Don't deflect now. Don't deflect
now. The guy that deflected to Epstein doesn't want to deflect to his pedophile prophet. Wow. Call me. I'm so shocked. I'm so shocked. He deflected to Epstein when nobody brought up Epstein. But the second I brought up Islam, he's like, no. Please don't deflect.
We can talk about that. We could talk about
No, we don't have to. I just find that hilarious. I find that ironic as fuck.
There's nothing more hilarious than a goy defending a state.
Yeah. I got it. Yeah, you've said that already. I got it. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm the best goy.
So let's talk about this. We'll talk about anything that you want to talk about. Let's talk about Epstein right now. Who did Epstein work for?
So you're allowed to deflect to something else, but I can't deflect.
You don't want to talk about it?
It's not about wanting to talk about it. I just find it ironic when this whole time you keep saying I'm deflecting. You didn't even come close to answering any of my questions.
We went to October 7th. We went to your famine definition. We went to your starvation definition.
Keep embarrassing.
Who did Epstein work for?
Yeah, again, this idea, Epstein was a disgusting piece of shit just like the Prophet Muhammad. I think they're equally bad. I don't like pedophilia. Disgusting. If anyone's a pedophile, they should be castrated. Just so you know, Muhammad's Aisha was 4 to 5 years younger. 4 to 5 years younger than Epstein's youngest victim. And they're both equally disgusting. See how he doesn't want to? No. I don't want to talk about that, please. Mashallah, please.
I thought you were a hadith expert. First off, this is not confirmed and reliable hadith.
Sahih al-Bukhari, 5133, narrated by Aisha herself. It says he married me when I was 6.
When Epstein,
Epstein's disgusting.
This is not part of the
Sahih al-Bukhari. It's Sahih al-Bukhari, the most accepted hadiths in the world.
Nick is so hot right now.
You still haven't answered the question. I've answered every single one of your questions. You're going to Hadith. You're going to your different thing.
He said Sahih al-Bukhari is not accepted. That is insane. It's the most accepted Hadith
not accepted
in the
as
entire
confirmed.
world.
Hadith is up
What
to
does Sahih
interpretation.
mean?
And there's
What does
different schools of
Sahih
thought.
mean? What does
Answer
Sahih
the
mean?
question before you keep deflecting. I answered all your questions. Who did Epstein work for?
Who did he
My
work
husband
for?
is so hot.
Yes.
I have no idea who he worked for.
You have no idea.
My
Okay,
guess,
so
I'll
you have-
answer my guess.
Okay,
I
great.
think he
So-
was
so
a.
you
I'm
know
gonna
about
answer.
You have no
I
idea. You have
think.
no idea who he worked
Sure,
for.
I'd be more
Who
than
funded
glad.
him?
I will tell you. There are many people that he had connections with, including Israelis like Ehud Barak, disgusting. He had relations with a lot of Arab leaders, including getting the Kaaba to the cloth of the Kaaba to his own personal self. Also disgusting people. He had relations with U.S. government personnel or government officials. Also disgusting. He had a lot with Russian. Also disgusting. I think they're all equally disgusting. In fact, the Israeli government people like Benjamin Netanyahu and Smotrich both called out Ehud Barak years before America was even talking about it because of his relations with Jeffrey Epstein. Yes, you're correct. He had relations with a lot of people.
No.
You believe he worked for the Mossad. You believe he worked for the Mossad.
I'm asking what I believe. I'm asking you, who did Epstein work for?
I have
Answer
no
the question.
idea.
You have no clue who he worked
There's
for. You have no
over
idea.
like 4 million pages that have been released so far. I have not read them all. Why don't you tell me who he
You
worked
have
for?
no idea what state he supported. You have no idea about
What
the
state
emails
he
calling other people
supported?
goyim. You have no idea about
I've
Ehud
read
Barak,
those.
former Israeli prime
The
minister.
goyim.
Okay, you've read those. So you have the
Do
Israeli
you think
flag
I'm
right
just
behind
confused
you.
real
Ehud
quick?
Barak-
Do you think Goyim is automatically I'm answering your point. Do you think Goyim is like
You're not.
automatically just like
You're
a
deflecting
derogatory term?
You're deflecting again. And Epstein
You
definitely used it as a
literally just
derogatory
said
term.
it, dude. How am I deflecting? You just said that. You said the email saying
Yeah, well,
Goyim.
And I'm answering you. Yeah, Epstein definitely used it as a derogatory term. Ehud Barak.
Do you think I'm
former
going to
Israeli
defend
prime
Epstein? He was a pedophile. Yeah,
Sounds
he's
like you
a
are. Yeah,
disgusting
sounds like-
person.
Yeah, you 100% are saying that he worked for Russia or worked for Saudi Arabia.
I
It's
didn't say
retarded.
that at all. I
That
said
is
he
the
had
most retarded thing
relations
I've
with
ever-
these people. He literally did. Are you
Relations,
denying?
yeah.
Wait, real quick. Can you just say that
fact-
for the
wait,
camera?
wait.
Are you saying? Are you
Okay,
denying that he didn't have any relations with these people?
Of course, but who was he working for was the question, and you deflected off of that.
I didn't deflect. I said I have no idea.
No, you said relations when the question was work. Somebody running cover.
My
for the
very
most brutal,
first
disgusting
answer.
pedophile, blackmail
My very
operation of all
first
time
answer was I have
might
no
be the
idea
most
who he
disgusting
worked
thing.
for. He
You
is
are running
crashing the
cover-
fuck out.
You are running cover for Epstein right
How
now.
is me?
I'm
Can you just
crashing
answer
out.
a quick question before?
You're acting clueless about
Can you
this?
just answer a quick
You're acting
question
clueless
before
about
you
this?
run away?
No, you're not answering my question. You said you have no idea
just-
who he worked for. So I'm going to follow
I
up.
don't know.
Because let's stay on this.
Just
I answer
tell
all your-
me
you don't
who
know.
he
So-
worked for.
Okay. I tell you, I'm just like you. I'm doing research. We're trying to find
Right. So why
conclusive
is your
evidence and
answer different than mine?
Don't let him run.
You said you have no idea, right? But you know
Right.
that Ehud Barak, former Israeli prime minister,
Can I
not only
answer
stayed
more
in
than a
his
couple
house-
words?
No, you can't.
He's
I'm in
crashing
charge.
the fuck out.
visited
He
around-
doesn't
around
want to
30
hear an
times.
answer.
He said that he was going to meet with your prime minister Netanyahu, whose flag you have behind you. You're representing a flag
didn't say
where
that.
the prime minister visited Epstein, allegedly 30 times in his
You're
Manhattan
saying Benjamin
apartment. Who was
Netanyahu
he-
visited Epstein?
I said Ehud Barak did, dummy.
I think
Benjamin
Ehud Barak is
Netanyahu, he was
disgusting.
going to have. Oh, okay, the former one, just not the current one. He said he was going to
Yeah,
meet
just
with
like I think
Netanyahu,
Clinton is
the prime
disgusting the
minister.
former president. What a stupid point. If Clinton was the former
okay, so
president, I
he's-
think he's disgusting too.
Okay,
What was the point?
Look at you deflecting and trying to talk about his
No, I'm
relations,
saying
who he
I
was
think it's
working
the
for.
same
What
thing.
state
What's
was
the
he
point?
benefiting? What state was he benefiting and who was
He's
he
about to
working
run,
for?
but
You're
Nate-
He's
sweating
definitely
now.
gonna run.
Lee
Yeah.
answering him, was he Russian?
Thank you. Juan.
Leslie Wexner, was he Saudi? This is the people that turned him into a billionaire that funded this island. Were
Yeah, I
these
think
people
they're all wrong.
spies for Qatar? They're all wrong. So
Once
okay, now
again,
that
they're
you know,
disgusting.
it's disgusting. Now you are
wrong
willfully
with that
ignoring
answer?
the evidence in front of you. Okay, so Jewish Zionists funded him. His girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, right?
Ghislaine.
Her father was Mossad. What?
Her father wasn't
that's
the
her
Mossad.
father.
Her father wasn't the Mossad. That comes from a book, just so you know. Can I answer?
You're saying Robert Maxwell was Mossad.
No, I'm saying it's not been confirmed. Let me just answer more than a couple words. You're like literally yelling
Robert,
and screaming.
I can
Tell him to
yelling and
take a breath.
screaming. Oh, don't
Just
victimize
take-
yourself now. You're
Sneako,
running
can
cover
you
for-
take a
you're running
breath?
cover for Pedophile Island. I can't take a
He
breath. because
really
you're-
doesn't
you're-
want
you're-
me to answer.
You're ignoring
He
right
is-
now. No.
Can I
Robert
just?
Maxwell was
He's
100%
literally
Mossad.
okay. Can you just
He
tell
was
me how? Maybe I'm
100%
wrong.
Mossad.
Can you tell me how you know that?
He's been credited by Israeli officials at
Right.
being
Where does
the
that come
founder
from?
and being the arms. This comes from Israeli officials. This comes
Right,
from
who?
the fact
Can you tell
that
me who?
he was being paid by Mossad. He was being paid by Israeli government.
Right, can you just tell me who? You just keep saying that this happened,
tell you
trust me,
exactly
bro.
who.
Perfect, see, you have to Google, so you don't know. It comes from the book that was actually promoted on Candace Owens' show. I actually read that book, and in it...
long before... No, this came along before Candace Owens.
If you just... No, I said she promoted it on her show. I didn't say she wrote the book. Dude, you have to listen before you answer.
You said it came from a show.
I didn't. I said she promote. Again, I'm recording it. You'll see the clips. I said she promoted it. I promise you I said that. Anyways, you guys, shout out to my YouTube. You'll see this. Anyway, so it said, yeah, okay. So again, she promoted it, not it came from her show. Of course, Candace Owens doesn't write that shit. So anyways, what it says is this guy who wasn't even actually an official anymore. He said that it was alleged that there were people who believed, and this is what his book says, that Robert Maxwell did work, not even worked for the Mossad, but did work with the Mossad. Now, it's possible. Hold on one sec. Relax. Don't crash out again. You're doing good. So it's possible because he said that somebody alleged that this is true. Now, is it possible he's right? Of course it is. But that's not the same thing as evidence, Sneako. That's someone saying that he heard someone else say it. Of course it could be right. And guess what? If it is right, well, I'm not going to blame him, but Ghislaine, absolutely disgusting. She shouldn't even be in just prison. She should be executed. Jeffrey Epstein, I wish, could survive, so they castrated him. You're saying I'm running cover for a guy that I'm literally saying is disgusting.
Because it's very clear who we work for. He fled to Israel after sex crimes.
But you have no information. You just Googled. Tell me what you read.
Okay, this has been suspect that he was smuggling weapons. He has ties to
I meant
Mossad.
about the
Okay, you want to hear actual information?
Been speculated. You just said it's been speculated. That's what I said. How come what you're saying is wrong?
At the time, it's like, I'm going to...
Wait a minute.
I'm going to bring,
I said the same exact thing,
evidence?
and you said I was running cover. You just repeated what I said.
No. I'm giving you actual evidence right now.
Oh, perfect.
Jeffrey Epstein himself said that Mossad executed Robert Maxwell after he tried to extort them of 500 million pounds because he had secrets. He had secrets that Mossad had. Only a Mossad agent has Mossad secrets to that extent.
Jeffrey Epstein said that he was a Mossad agent and he was executed for...
Epstein said that Mossad allegedly assassinated Robert Maxwell because he tried to extort Mossad of their secrets. Only an agent is going to be able to have secrets of Mossad at that level.
Okay, what are you reading right now so I can look into this? Listen, Sneako, you have to understand, and you admitted this is... You admitted...
That's off the top of the dome. Go look at the Epstein files for yourself. You've done all this reading. Oh, I read all this hadith. You don't read the Epstein files? You have the flag of a country behind you where Epstein's fingerprints are all over it, and you don't research that? You look away on this, but hadith, you're an expert.
You are crashing out.
I'm not crashing out. This is how
I'm trying to answer you the difference between the Epstein files. I'm trying to answer you the difference between the Epstein files and 20,000 hadiths. Hadiths are sometimes a sentence long to maybe a paragraph. The Epstein files are over that has been released. I think it's 4 to 5 million pages. It's so stupid to say, well, you've read this many hadiths and you haven't read the Epstein files. Dude, have you read all the Epstein files? Of course you haven't. That's rhetorical.
I read enough to make to have a conclusive claim that he worked for Israel. Again,
I'm going to look this up. Did Epstein?
Prime Minister.
Well,
okay,
I'm going to look up. I'm going to look it up to see if you're even telling the truth. Say Robert Maxwell was assassinated.
If I could prove to you that Epstein was an Israeli operation, are you going to rip that flag down?
Israeli operation?
Yes.
By what? By current Israel today? Like the people in government today or before? I'm just confused.
Netanyahu was still in charge. He said he was going to meet with Netanyahu. He said a meeting set up. If this was an Israeli operation to get Epstein to blackmail American politicians to support Israel, will you rip down that flag?
I don't think you'll be able to prove that whatsoever.
Okay, do you want to hear while you Google things like a good goy?
Real quick, I already looked up the first thing, and that's not true. So can you provide where you're getting that from? About Epstein saying that Robert Maxwell was assassinated by the Mossad?
I'll give all of that to you. The second one...
No, I want that one first.
I don't really care what you want. You're covering up for Epstein. Prime Minister Yitzhak Shamir reportedly stated that Maxwell has done more for Israel today that can be said. Israeli Prime Minister said Robert Maxwell has done more for Israel than can today be said.
Cool. I will be more than glad. Can you prove your first point instead of running away from it because you lied?
You don't like this one?
No, it's not about liking it or not. I don't particularly care what people in the past said. If you want me to say
You
they're
don't?
disgusting, they're
You
disgusting.
don't care about, but you have the
I
nation
think
of a,
this
you have the
is-
flag right here, and the former prime minister of that country
I can answer
says
that.
Robert Maxwell
Okay.
did more for Israel than could today be stated.
That's
and
amazing.
you said you don't care?
That's amazing.
If you don't care what happened in the past,
it's
wait
not
a
about
second,
that.
You said you don't care about the past? Then why are you harping on
Why
about
would
1936?
wait? Are you asking me?
Why are you harping on about 1927?
Can I answer?
Why do you keep talking about October 7th?
I'd be more than glad to answer. You guys notice how he doesn't let me answer. Be more than glad to answer. Are you telling
I'm
me
your line of logic.
No, you're not, because I didn't say I don't care about what happened
in the past.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said I don't care about what someone just said in the past. I didn't say I don't care about the past. Specifically with Robert Maxwell, are you telling me Robert Maxwell was doing something with the Epstein Island? Should I condemn Robert Maxwell? I thought the only reason you brought up Robert Maxwell was because of Ghislaine Maxwell. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So what does Robert Maxwell doing... hold on. What does Robert Maxwell doing so much for the state of Israel have to do with Epstein?
Right. Ghislaine Maxwell was his girlfriend, correct?
So I agree with that, but what does Robert Maxwell doing so much for the state of Israel? Why is that a bad thing? I'm confused. Is Robert Maxwell a bad person?
That's one of the 100,000 pieces of evidence that Epstein worked for Israel.
Wait, hold on. You're not answering the question. I said
I answered the question.
I said I don't care
directly right now.
Somebody thought that Robert Maxwell did so much for...
Your mic cut out.
I said... Can you hear me?
Your mic's off.
My mic's off?
It's not me, it's you. Your mic's off.
Hello?
Oh, he's running from Epstein
I'm
now.
literally not running.
Why are you running?
Hello?
Why are you running?
Everyone says that they can hear me.
He's such a liar.
Running.
Wait, why are you lying? Everyone's saying he can hear me.
He's running. He muted the mic.
This
Mossad
guy's
got his
running.
microphone. Mossad got his microphone.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Your mic is out on his side.
Okay, you just fix it.
It's true. Your mic is out on his side.
Dude, everyone in my chat is saying they can hear me. What are you doing?
You just fixed it.
Okay, great. So what I was saying, okay,
I don't need to lie like you. I don't need to lie and pretend like I don't know who Epstein works for.
Okay, great.
Okay,
anyway, so what I was saying, hold on, I was speaking. So
Let's
what
go
I
back
was
to the
saying, what I was saying is you said that Robert Maxwell was said to be doing so much for the state of Israel. Why is that a problem? Is Robert Maxwell a bad person, or are you talking about Ghislaine Maxwell being a bad person?
Okay, so I'm giving you one piece of 100,000 pieces of evidence that Epstein worked for Israel. One of the major factors is that Ghislaine Maxwell, the top pimp for this pedophile blackmail that you're running cover from, her father was Mossad. Former Israeli prime minister said he had done more for Israel than can be stated today. You want the email from the Epstein files where people figured out why he was passed away. In the Epstein files, Robert Maxwell said,
the evidence.
This is from Jeffrey Epstein. I'll read it to you because
Jeffrey Epstein also said he hated Israel. He literally said, I don't like Israel at all. So what? Jeffrey Epstein was a fucking piece of shit. This is what's funny.
Yeah, exactly.
We started off talking about... One second!
You want a piece of evidence.
Millie says this is not in the
Are you going to give me
files.
evidence finally?
Yes, I'm reading it.
Oh, perfect. Then I will shut up. If you're going to give the first thing you promised about 20 minutes ago, I will stop talking. Go ahead.
I'm trying to, but you keep trying to talk.
No, go ahead. I guarantee you, bet anything he doesn't give it.
Okay, great. Jeffrey Epstein emailed saying Robert Maxwell threatened Mossad. He told them unless they gave him 400 million pounds to save his crumbling empire, he would expose all he had done for them.
Great.
In that time, he had access to
up?
Margaret Thatcher's Downing Street, Ronald Reagan's White House, to the Kremlin, and to the corridors of power throughout Europe. Maxwell passed on all the secrets he learned to Mossad in Tel Aviv. In turn, they tolerated his excesses, vanities, and insatiable appetite for a luxurious lifestyle.
How is this providing me with the evidence?
Oh my God!
First off,
one more time, because
I just real quick. I just want to make sure. Are you saying that Epstein? You're saying Epstein said this, so you believe what Epstein said? Is what you're saying?
This is one piece of the millions of pieces of evidence that Epstein worked for Israel. You asked, why do I bring up Robert Maxwell? I'm giving you a piece of evidence.
No, that's not what I asked. I asked you, why was it a problem that Maxwell did a lot for Israel as a possible Mossad agent or not? I don't see what the problem with that was. Was Maxwell, not Ghislaine, Robert Maxwell, like a pedophile? Was he working on the island or something? What is the problem?
You wanted proof. You agreed that Epstein was an evil pedophile and you said he should be castrated, right? Then you said, I don't know who he worked for. So now I'm giving you one of the million pieces of evidence that he worked for Israel. I said Ehud Barak visited his estate allegedly 30 times in Manhattan. There's pictures of him sneaking in. I said he was financed by Leon Black and Leslie Wexner, not Russians and not Saudis like you're insinuating. He was funded by Jewish Zionists in America whose allegiance is with Israel. That's who he got his money from. Then I pointed out that the top pimp of the organization, Ghislaine Maxwell, his girlfriend, her father was Mossad. You said, I don't know if he's Mossad. I'm telling you, in the Epstein files, Epstein is saying that they were going to assassinate him, or they wanted to assassinate him, and this is assuming why he passed away, because Robert Maxwell tried to extort Mossad of 400 million pounds, and he would expose all Mossad had done. This is an email from Jeffrey Epstein. How many more pieces of evidence do you need
can you
to
send
stop
it
running cover for a pedophile state?
Yeah, one sec.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now because there's something right here in the files that actually debunks that email. But I'm trying to get it because you won't tell me what to look up. So I'm trying my hardest to like find it as you're speaking.
Okay. So here you go. I'll type the
now
link
you're
for you
finally
because
gonna give it to me.
you're a little bit slow. Okay, so I was reading it for you because you asked me to read it because you didn't want to.
I
Look
never
it up
asked
yourself.
any of that.
Okay, you asked where's the evidence? I gave you the evidence, and now you want the link. So there, go to gmail.world.
Gmail.world. Dude, I know how to do. There's a search on the DOJ website. You can also search. I'm asking what to search, but it's fine. I'll find it.
Robert Maxwell threatened Mossad. Cuffham, thank you for the raid. Appreciate it, Cuffham.
So when I type in
while he's
Robert
reading,
Maxwell,
look up all the pictures of Epstein
threatened,
and
it
IDF.
says no results. When I typed in what you asked me to type in.
Okay.
I'm going to go to the justice.gov page. Hold on a sec. I typed in word for word what you asked me to type in.
Did you spell the word correctly?
Sure did. Okay, so now I'm on the Justice website.
And the DOJ, they have been covering up pictures like they cover a picture of Howard Lutnik, another
This says
Jewish
the late
Zionist with Trump.
tycoons. Okay, so this is on justice.gov. I'm actually reading straight from the actual source.
Yeah, which they've omitted.
So the
images,
late
if you want to use
tycoon.
that as the most credible source. They omitted the Howard Lutnik pictures.
This is not omitted.
on
This is
DOJ.
reading straight for the words. Not
I
omitted
know,
at
but
all.
they omitted Howard Lutnik. They got rid of the Secretary of Commerce on
Cool.
that
So
website.
this is what it says, straight from the government website, straight from the Epstein files. The late tycoon's daughter fled Britain and now resides in Manhattan, where the Columbus connection emerges. Ross reported that Ghislaine is a one-time partner of Epstein, an immensely powerful New York property developer and financer. Other newspaper reports have described Epstein as everything from a concert pianist, corporate spy, math teacher, stockbroker, merchant banker, and globe-trotting businessman. He has steadfastly denied rumors of links to the Israeli Mossad. Maxwell denied similar connections just prior to his accident at sea. So I don't like taking Epstein's words for it because he's, again, a piece of shit. I'm simply saying this is what he said because you're also going with what Epstein said, which I think is ridiculous.
So then let's rule that out. Let's
This
talk
is
about
from the
facts.
Department of Justice.
Leslie
This
Wexner
is
and
their
Leon Black were the
analysis.
main financiers of Jeffrey Epstein. That's how he funded all of his properties, where he raped little kids to blackmail people to support the state that you're shilling for.
Yeah, I think all that's
You know
disgusting
this?
too. But how do you know he did this for the state and not just people who are also just like? Hold on, almost done. Just like how there were many other officials of other governments who worked
This is
with
the only
Epstein.
search
How
for
do you know
Mossad
that
and
these weren't just
Maxwell.
people in the Israeli positions, not just government, but higher positions that also did stuff with him, just like Clinton did stuff with him? That doesn't mean I think Donald Trump or America is doing this.
Do you know what all this has in common?
Yeah, go ahead.
You're Googling again? You ask a question. All this has in common. These places, there are connections to Israel, right? You're saying, okay, he was there with American politicians. He was there. Trump is all over the files. Who did Trump just bring our country into war with? He brought our country to war with Iran to support Israel.
I didn't
Connections with
say
the UK
Trump.
too,
Iran-
and
I
Prince
didn't say
Andrew.
Trump was all over the files.
I'm explaining
I
why.
don't- Okay.
Oh, no,
You're
did,
adding
because he
words.
is. Okay.
Yeah,
And
but
you're
not
saying,
in any
why are all
nefarious
these
way that we know of as of now.
Well, he did say Epstein had a lot of beautiful young women, some of them very young, a lot of beautiful women. So yeah, maybe there's just a coincidence that he was bringing children around him. There's pictures of younger, not children, but some
Well,
pictures
the
of children
Epstein
next to Jeffrey
files,
Epstein.
you say you studied the Epstein files. The Epstein files also showed that he turned him in before any of this was even in the news, and he called him a horrible guy. So again, it's just ridiculous. Like if something came
Yeah,
out
but-
and
but
we
to-
knew, I think you don't understand the difference between like evidence and proof. You keep saying you have proof and you're giving speculation. You're right. Trump could be a PDF file, whatever you want to call it, right? He totally could be. And if he is, and it's proven, not your speculation, Sneako, not evidence that maybe you speculate this way and some people speculate that way. If there's proof, I'd be more than glad to call him a piece of shit. Just as disgusting.
If they ever
as
release,
Epstein,
if they ever
the
release
Prophet
all the
Muhammad,
files,
all of that.
if they ever release all the files, they only release less than half, and probably far less than that. They've omitted a lot of them.
It's more than
then
half.
I'm sure it would implicate.
It's definitely more than half.
Definitely not.
They said there's 3 million pages left. There's been more than 3 million. I don't know if you think math works.
Look up the terabytes since you don't know what you're talking about. Look at the amount of gigabytes of files that released compared to the total amount. Because if like legitimate files, yes, paperwork and everything, but the amount of gigabytes, it's not even close. But you didn't know that.
Gigabytes or
So if you're wondering why that he's working with and he has connections to Saudi works with Israel, right? In a lot of ways, they do trade with them. They've allied with them directly or indirectly.
America's
Completely
Saudi.
Yeah, oil, of course.
You said
America.
Israel
You're saying
and
okay,
Saudi Arabia.
Okay, let me answer your original question before you keep on deflecting to run away from pedophile.
You mean trying to go back to our original topic before you deflected to Epstein because you're losing the debate?
I am making. You asked why was he there working with leaders of all over the world? Right?
First off, I never brought up Epstein. You brought it up because you were losing the original
and I'm
argument.
answering your question. I am answering
That's
your
fine,
question.
but if you say deflect one more time when you literally deflected, which we'll all see in the recording when I post all of this, when you see you deflect to
Epstein. Every single one of your
Epstein.
questions.
Yeah, okay. We'll all see it. Trust me.
No, actually, Epstein is not. Epstein. You have the flag of a country right behind you that would not exist right now and not have the power over our country without Epstein. That's why I'm talking about it. It's more relevant than ever. These files have just been released a couple weeks ago, and now we're war.
So Israel had no control over America prior to Epstein? Okay, that's interesting. I've never heard of it.
They had overwhelming control afterwards. You asked why are so many world leaders implicated on this? The coincidence is all these people also have ties with Israel and are also supporting Israel. I just said that. You said you brought up the piece of the Nakba. A lot of people are saying Saudi has direct connections to Israel. That's why they trade with the U.S. dollar, and that's why they're not supporting.
Nobody says that, by the way. But you're just wrong. Saudi is trying to get into Abraham Accords, but as of right now, they haven't. I think you're confusing the UAE maybe with Saudi Arabia. I'm not sure. Okay, so you think Saudi Arabia and Israel are trading back and forth? Can you say yes to that, please?
Of course. Of course they are.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Of course they are. Go Google it because you don't know what you're talking about. Then you asked about America and you said, why are so many American politicians working with Epstein? The coincidence is our country is completely subverted because shills like you are promoting the same slop that people like Epstein were promoting. Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Bill Gates, all these people.
There you go, guys. Just Googled it like he asked.
It says formal diplomatic.
Yep.
It says formal diplomatic relations.
And also says
formal diplomatic relations.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And it
what
also
does it say? Read it.
I am. It also has no official trade or business ties exist with Israel, while official bilateral. Right. Correct. That's what you said.
Official bilateral. Continue.
Sure, it says, while official bilateral trade figures are attempting to be processed through the Abraham Accords, as of right now, there is no trade. Now, are you saying unofficially, like they're doing it in secret? Is that what you're replying? You said they traded oil, right? Look, we can go back to Epstein, it's fine, but you made a claim. You said oil specifically.
They trade oil with
I'm
America,
you
U.S. and Israel.
It's not what you said. You said Saudi Arabia and Israel.
U.S. is Israel right now. It's the same. They are the same. Because of this
so that's what you meant, Sneako. That's what you meant. Got it. Perfect.
Absolutely. Okay. They've made that clear with this war that you're promoting. That U.S. and Israel are the same.
You can't. You're just too proud to say. You know what? I was wrong to say that Israel and Saudi Arabia traded oil. So you're trying to be like, oh, I meant that America. Dude, you got it wrong. It's fine.
Are you too slow to explain the connections? Okay, so you want to figure
out.
So
when you said Saudi Arabia and Israel traded oil, you really meant America and Saudi Arabia. Got it. Sure, bud.
U.S. and Israel are the same. It's traded with the petrodollar. They use the U.S. dollar. Israel benefits off this dollar. The Rothschild central bank system controls American banks. Trading with the U.S. is trading with Israel. These are the same. They've made that clear. This is why the GCC countries are being bombed right now. If you didn't know that, you were ignorant.
So back to Epstein anyways. When you type in, here I screenshotted it for you. When you type in Mossad and Maxwell together, only one document shows up, which specifically talks about...
On the DOJ?
This is from the full... This is searching the full Epstein library. The full.
Okay,
everything that's been released.
Yep. No. They omitted a picture that was then found of Howard Lutnik, the current Secretary of Commerce under Trump right now, hovering over him, the guy who was absent. Because they omitted that picture and you're using that website as a source. Like, oh, there's only one email, even though you also conceded that they haven't released the majority of the files. So you don't know what you're talking about. Again, they are hiding so much of this. And already from what they've released, there is so much conclusive evidence.
This is extreme cope. This is extreme cope. You're saying that.
This is not extreme cope.
Can you tell me how you got your information then?
It's been leaked.
It's been leaked. Oh wow, by who?
So many of these images been leaked.
Sounds like Candace.
So this isn't from. So you're saying this isn't from the Epstein files. This is by some other website that told you this is a real thing. Is that what you're saying, Sneako?
Yes, the Department of Justice made errors in some of the names that were originally covered up.
You said this was from the Epstein files.
Yeah, you know whose name was originally
crazy.
I love this so much.
Can you do me a favor? Can you tell me who leaked it?
No, I can't. Do you want to know?
WZ.
This was that they unredacted these files.
I wish I asked him that in the very beginning. That's hilarious.
You're clapping over what I'm explaining.
Yeah, because I realized you've been lying this whole time. I thought you were searching the Epstein files. You told me you're searching some random thing. That's why, by the way, he didn't want to show me. Because he didn't want to see that he was just reading from some fucking website.
You're willfully looking away because you don't want to admit that you're holding up the flag of a country that exists.
Right, Sneako. Thank you for admitting.
Let me answer that because you want to trust the government releasing these files.
Sure. Can we get back to Israel-Palestine at any time soon? Yeah, because you got fucking smoked on that fucking argument.
You don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what you're talking about.
He admitted he didn't.
You're gonna talk over me the whole time.
Are you worship a pedophile? Yeah, because you're a fucking liar. This whole time I thought you were talking about. I thought you were talking about the Epstein files. I thought you were talking about the Epstein files the whole time, and the whole time you were just fucking reading from some fucking website that you told you it was a leaked thing.
This has been confirmed.
This is insane. Oh, confirmed by who? You said it's been confirmed by who?
Yourself.
Yeah, no, by who? No, go ahead, Sneako. Tell me who has confirmed it.
Howard Lutnik. Okay, Howard
confirmed
Lutnik
by who?
And the Leslie Wexner leak.
Yeah, no, I'm asking confirmed by who? You said it was confirmed by who?
Okay.
It's been confirmed, but they won't release it.
This is the best time of my life.
Photo of Lutnik. This is CBS News. This is one of the Goyim news sites that you probably believe in. The article reads, photo of Lutnik on Epstein Island removed from Justice Department.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the Justice Department released it? And then they removed it. You said they released it and then removed it, right? Right?
A photo release.
Right?
A photo. You wanted the source. I'm reading you the source.
You said they released it. Why would they release it if they're controlled by the Jews?
I said
who authorized that release? I thought you said it was leaked.
A photo.
Huh.
Oh my God. Do you like arguing semantics?
For them to remove something, that means they put it out there first. You agree with that, right? Isn't that kind of common sense?
A photo released last month by the Justice Department as part of the Epstein files showed Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnik with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein on Epstein Island in the Caribbean was removed from the Justice Department's website before being restored Thursday night. So it was removed and then it was re-added.
You said it was leaked. You said it was leaked, and now you're saying they did release it and then re-restored it. This is all you have semantics? It's not semantics. Your whole point was based off of that. You said I shouldn't trust a website. Remember what you originally said that you already forgot? You said I cannot trust this website because they remove stuff or don't release it. And I said, how do you know that? You said, and I quote, well, it was leaked and confirmed as leaked. I said, confirmed by who? And then you admitted that they re-put it back out there.
From somebody in the Justice Department.
He doesn't want to talk Palestine.
Released after somebody in the Justice Department who's not been identified because they're covering up for people like you are covering up. They originally removed it from the files. This was originally not supposed to be a part of it, and someone who had access to the Justice Department's website restored it there. That is what a leak is.
So why can't I trust this website then? Because you told me originally don't trust them because they're not giving us information.
Because they prove that people are omitting the files, dipshit. Someone from the inside is not releasing all the information, and then it was released. That's the whole
Right.
point.
So why
Are
can't
you
I trust
slow?
it now?
Are
So why
you
can't I trust
slow?
it now if they're actively doing this to
Because
release
not
it?
all of the information is there. You can.
So
of
what's
course you
not
could
there
trust it.
about Maxwell and Mossad? I just
You
looked
said,
it up.
and going back to the original point, you said there's only one email about Maxwell, and I'm telling you, not all the files are released.
Right. So how do you know
we
that
have
one?
many references, not from the Epstein files, that
Right.
show former Israeli prime minister
Right.
saying Robert Maxwell did more for Israel than could even be stated today.
I've never
so
denied
you want
that.
sources from many different sources.
I've never
I have sources
denied
from the
that
Epstein
Robert
files.
Maxwell did
I have
that.
sources from Israeli prime minister.
He
I
is
have sources
crashing
from
out.
the
This is
Justice
hilarious.
Department. Oh
Nick,
my
check
God.
your DM
I've never
because the
seen
Howard
somebody try
Lutnik
to
photo isn't in
weasel
it
their
either.
way out of something that is so blatantly obvious to everybody. You are realizing now that you're covering up for Pedophile Island to support the Jewish star behind you, the Star of David.
So anyways, I typed in also the Howard Lutnik photo, 0 results. He said that it was put out there after on Thursday. 0 results. That's insane. It's like he keeps lying.
Because did you
Thank
not
you,
hear what I
Millie.
said?
That
Look
is
at his face.
wild.
It was released and then it was omitted. That's the whole point.
And then you said they
It was
re-released
released,
it, right? Did you not just say that?
and then the article says it was omitted. So it was released on the website and then they omitted it. Dum dum. That's the
This
whole
article?
point. The photo exists now.
This article?
The photo exists now.
Yeah, this article?
There's many.
Right.
That's not the one I was reading. There's many.
You said CBS News. Photo of Lutnik on Epstein's Island. Right? That one? Yeah, this is the one you were reading. I can tell on your face. Yeah, definitely not in the files. That's crazy.
I hope everyone can
his
see this, right?
face.
Can everyone type of one if you can see that instead of having a conversation about how
Millie,
Epstein
this is
clearly
better
worked for
than
Israel,
corn.
he's saying, you said leak, not removed.
Every way.
You said restore. It's restored, not leaked. It's
Guy's
like the
stuttering. He's
snakiest
stuttering
little,
now.
it's the
This is crazy.
snakiest.
This is
I've
his
never seen
topic,
somebody
by the
talk
way.
like this
He
because it's the
chose
most disingenuous conversation I've ever seen. Instead of
This
just saying what's
dude
clear,
is
oh, you
fucking
said leaked,
crashing
but you really
out.
meant
Because
restored.
he didn't want to
You
talk
said it wasn't
Israel-Palestine.
trustworthy
That's
because
why.
you were putting evidence. It's just, you're just trying to go to
Are you still
semantics
stuttering?
the entire
I know.
conversation.
Dude,
Nobody's stuttering. You're the
you literally were
nobody's
stuttering.
Everybody's seeing you what you're doing. Everybody's seeing these
Listen,
snaky tactics.
I don't
Okay,
like...
let's go back now. Now that I provided evidence,
I
Howard
don't
Lutnik, Jewish
like...
Zionist,
Yeah.
next door neighbor to Jeffrey
I
Epstein.
don't see
in
why
the
that
Epstein
matters.
files,
What
he's
does
the
this have
Secretary
to
of State. You
do?
don't
What
see
does
why
this
it
have to
matters.
do with the Israeli government? Like, yes, I agree. There are a
Did
lot of officials.
Epstein
I
work
got you.
for Israel? Did Epstein work for Israel?
Again, you have done an awful job at proving any
You
of
can't
this.
answer. I've answered all of your questions.
You
can't
haven't.
answer
So I'm
easily
trying to. I'd
the
be
best
more than
question.
glad to answer.
Did
Can you tell me
Epstein
how?
work for
Just one more
Israel?
question. Can you tell me how any of this means he worked for like all of Israel? Can you tell me? I agree he had relationships with people in Israel.
All of Israel?
Of course.
Wait, again, semantics.
No, not
Nobody
literally.
said all of Israel. The occult
This
is
is
incredible.
insane. Not literally the word.
All of Israel.
He's yelling over me
Israel.
again because he doesn't
He
want me
worked
to explain.
For Israel.
Right. Are
Because
you
these semantics
saying?
are so
Right. I got
Shade
you.
5 crown.
It's so the cope is insane. He yells over you when he doesn't
Uh-huh.
want to hear the whole sentence. I'm not literally saying all of
Did-
Israel. Like
just answer the
I'm
question.
asking a question.
It's a
I'm
yes or no
asking
question.
one question.
It's a yes or no
All
question.
right. He doesn't want to hear it
It's a
because he
yes or
knows
no.
he's losing.
It's
I'm
a yes or no
asking
question.
you-
Did Epstein work for Israel?
Based off of what you gave me, no, definitely not.
No. Based off of what you said. No.
Not
You
even
need more
close.
evidence.
You have done an awful
You need
job
more evidence.
at
Okay.
describing. So can
Not
I
o-
ask a
okay,
question
so
now? Can I
you
ask
want
a
even
question?
more.
He
You
doesn't
want
want.
picture-
He doesn't want to
If you
hear
saw-
it.
No.
You're
because this is the
asking
most
me.
retarded
You're
stuff I've ever seen in
asking
my life.
me. He's
Do you
still.
see Epstein
He's
wearing an IDF
crashing
shirt?
out.
Did you see him wearing an IDF shirt in the Epstein? You see that
Are you
picture?
talking about the one on
Would
the
that be enough
plane
for
that
you?
was debunked?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was debunked,
That was debunked?
dude. Yeah, it was.
That's
It was.
a
It
fake
wasn't
photo?
actually even AI.
Debunked?
People
Just
said it
kidding.
was AI. It was actually just Photoshop, and they found it because the lighting on his face actually didn't match the lighting on the plane. Literally, that is not official. That's embarrassing because that
Wait,
was
you know
debunked
about
like
this-
that was
you-
debunked like
You
6
didn't know
months
about
ago.
Leslie Wexner?
Wait, hold
Okay.
on. Are you? I want to hear about this Photoshop
Leslie
thing.
Wexner. Okay.
He
then
literally
why,
look at him. He's
Leslie
turning
Wexner-
red. He just brought up a Photoshop
Wexner-
photo that was
I'm
debunked
turning
over
red.
6 months ago. That is insane.
Okay.
Anyways,
again,
can I ask a
so
question
Leslie
real
Wexner
quick?
and Leon Black.
Are
Let's-
you
no, can't.
asking me?
No,
See, he doesn't want to
Let's
hear
stay
it
on
because
this.
he's losing the argument.
I brought it because
He doesn't
because
wanna
I brought
hear
up all
it.
these pieces of evidence.
I got it, and
I brought up all
so
this.
I can't ask anything about the pieces of evidence you brought up.
So why?
Just
why
I want you to
Leon
hear that.
Black
I want you to say that real
and
quick.
Leslie Wexner
Are you saying
confirmed.
I'm not allowed to ask any questions about the evidence you brought up? I'm not deflecting. I'm asking about Epstein. I'm not allowed to ask anything about it.
You made a statement. You said absolutely no. Jeffrey Epstein did not work for
Based
Israel.
off of what you're forcing me to say because you won't let me speak.
I'm not
I have
forcing you to say this.
You are,
Okay,
because
so you
you're
didn't know
not letting me ask anything. You're interrupting because you're losing the debate hard. You brought up a Photoshop photo that was debunked 6 months ago. This is after you deflected because you were losing Israel-Palestine. So you're like, I want to talk about Epstein. I want to talk about Epstein because I'm losing Israel-Palestine. I am trying to ask a follow-up.
On every single point. I cooked you the whole time.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
You know what is confirmed? What is confirmed and not Photoshop? What is confirmed?
So he's still not letting me ask any questions about Epstein. It's insane. He wants to push a narrative, but he doesn't want to have a conversation about it. This is a very clear tactic.
You can't look away. This is not even so like trying to do debate rhetoric.
Yeah,
over
once again, Epstein is disgusting. He's awful, and if people work for him, I don't care if they're an Israeli official.
And you gotta remember.
Can't imagine how I am.
As soon as you go on, that you run cover for Pedophile Island, and you willfully look away from who you work for. Because I don't know if you're getting 7K.
And you worship a pedophile.
I get way more than that. I get 10K. I get 10K a post, actually.
Tell him he worships a pedophile. How does he feel about that?
See, there's only one person that worships a pedophile. I get paid $10,000 a post. No, actually $20,000. Tell your followers that. $20,000 a post straight from Bibi Netanyahu to my bank account. So can I ask my question now?
Was that your attempt at humor? You should stick to the
No, it wasn't humor. Totally true. 100% true. Anyways,
so you're being honest right now? You're
$20,000 a post. $20,000 a post.
So you are a goy slave.
Yep. It actually says on the check. Goy slave, $20,000.
Okay, so you're not funny. You're trying to joke around. Stick to the semantics conversation. You are the most unfunny, zesty Epstein show I've ever seen.
Laughing. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Are you asking me?
No. Back to what I was saying.
Are you asking if it was an official source by Israel, like they did some kind of program? Or are you saying, did he have relationships with people in Israel, including like Ehud Barak, etc.? Is that your question? Because yes, I believe, or I know he had relationships with these people. That's true. Just as much as he had relationships with other people. That doesn't mean I think that they...
Nobody's asking, again, another one of your stupid, snaky semantics tactics. Nobody's asking about the relationships he had. He was friends with people all over the world. He was a socialite. The question was, who did he work for? Who did he work for?
Yeah, I do not think he worked for Israel. And based off of the information you've given me so far, it does not prove that at all.
Then who did he work for, right? Was he just doing this for fun?
What do you mean doing it for fun?
Why was he doing this?
I believe that there's a lot of people who are rich, and they're so rich that they attempt next after being rich. They attempt for power, and a lot of them do disgusting things for power. I think that's what he was chasing. Now, again, based off of your information that you've given me, you've done an awful job at trying to convince me.
So this was not okay. Okay, so it was just fun. It was like a theme park for pedophiles.
I didn't say that at all. You're changing the word because you're strawmanning my argument.
Was this done this whole time? Was this a blackmail operation?
Can you say that again without stuttering?
Here's the Mossad link. Here's the Justice Department link from earlier. There you go. There's the Mossad link. You're not going to click it because you want to look away. But here's the Robert Maxwell clip. This is what Epstein's saying, that Robert Maxwell was assassinated by Mossad. You want to click that?
Again, and the one that I read said the opposite. Why is yours more appropriate than... Why is yours more appropriate? Okay, again, it's funny how you don't like to hear any counters. It's like, it's interesting. Why is it that what yours said, mine was also...
Are you not going to click this link? You wanted this link before. I couldn't source it, and now I'm sourcing it so that you could read it.
You couldn't source it, so you admit you didn't have it originally? Fine, I will click it, but can I ask a question? See, look, I clicked it.
I had an image. I had an image, but I didn't have it from the source. Good boy, you clicked it. Now you go read it. Go learn up. Go figure out
what makes this. What makes this any more or less than the other email where he said he didn't have this connections to the Mossad? Why is this, which is by Jeffrey Epstein? Why is this something that I should automatically believe, but Jeffrey Epstein also saying the opposite, I shouldn't? Also, why does Robert Maxwell, even if this was true, Robert Maxwell was threatened by the Mossad? Let me read it real quick. Robert Maxwell threatened Mossad. Oh, it says he threatened Mossad.
Send it to me.
Okay. Yeah, one second. So he threatened
Mossad. The subject
of
the email is he was passed away.
Hold on a sec. Okay, so it says Robert Maxwell threatened Mossad. H = told them that unless they gave him $400 million to save his Kremlin empire, he would expose all he had done for them. In that time, he had free access to Margaret Thatcher's Downing Street, T = Ronald Reagan's White House, to the Kremlin. To the Kremlin. That's interesting. Wait, are you going to ignore that part?
Keep reading.
Sure.
Finish it.
It's interesting how it also says Russia in here, but okay, well, let's keep reading. And to the corridors of power throughout Europe. Oh, it's not just Russia, also European powers. Okay, interesting. We're just going to ignore that, of course. Maxwell passed on all the secrets he learned to Mossad in Tel Aviv. In turn, so he betrayed the Mossad and started giving powers to Russia and Europe. This is really debunking you. Let's keep going.
What is the subject line?
They tolerated his excesses. Hold on, let's keep reading. Let's keep reading. This is great. In turn, they tolerated his excesses, vanities, and insatiable appetite for a luxurious lifestyle and women. He told his controllers who they should target and how they should do it. His controllers being the Kremlin and European powers, by the way. He appointed himself as Israel's unofficial ambassador to the Soviet bloc. Okay, so Robert Maxwell, I just want to get this right. Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, who was the partner of Epstein, had ties to the Kremlin and European powers. Thank you for that, Sneako. I appreciate that. That was great.
You're proving my point.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
He has ties to American politicians and
well, it doesn't say that, but perfect. Thank you. Thank you for proving. Thank you for proving Robert Maxwell worked for the Kremlin and European powers. I really appreciate that, Sneako.
The fact that you run away. The whole point.
I literally read exactly what you asked me to read, and now you're freaking out.
It says Robert Maxwell threatened Mossad. Nobody's freaking out.
Yes, so he worked against the Mossad, correct? That's what that means? Do you agree? He threatened the Mossad.
He tried to extort them after he had secrets of that.
Can't wait for the YouTube video.
So you agree Robert Maxwell turned his back on Israel and the Mossad? Do you agree?
Obviously.
Oh, obviously. Perfect. Okay, so then he started working with who?
How did he?
Come on, let's read it again, Sneako. Thank you so much for sending. I'm so upset I didn't read this before, and I was doubting it.
You are avoiding the most important part.
I'm reading what you asked me to read, and now that I want to talk about it, now you're freaking out and you don't want to talk about it. That's insane. He said, click the link, read it all, and now that I'm reading exactly what it says, he no longer wants to talk about that. This email proves that he turned his back on the Mossad. He said, obviously, Sneako said, obviously, that's true. He turned his back on Israel. He turned his back on the Mossad.
How did he get the secrets?
Well, first off,
how did he get the secrets?
Great, but he turned his back on them. So by the time it would have reached Epstein, how would he be a connection to the Mossad if the Mossad was threatening him because he turned his back on them? How could he give Epstein a connection to the Mossad?
How did he get Mossad secrets to extort them?
Why does it matter? Your whole point is that Epstein worked for the Mossad because Robert Maxwell. You just proved Robert Maxwell turned his back on Mossad.
That was one piece of the a million pieces of evidence.
Can you do me a favor? Do you know when Robert Maxwell died?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know when Robert Maxwell died?
1991.
Right. So before any of the stuff with Epstein or any of the stuff we're talking about, you just said that Robert Maxwell, he literally proved that Robert Maxwell turned his back on the Mossad. He proved that he turned his back on Israel. He proved he had connections to Russia. He proved he had connections to European powers. And his whole point, remember the beginning. Remember the beginning of the argument. The beginning of the argument was that Robert Maxwell was a Mossad agent. And because he was a Mossad agent,
just a bad faith debater.
This is hilarious. Thank you so much for this.
Because you like to fixate on one aspect.
Incredible. One aspect, I read the whole email. In fact, I read the parts you left out last time. That's insane.
Lalo, I fucking love you, girl.
One piece of evidence of a million pieces of evidence.
A piece of evidence that debunked your whole point. Right, that's true.
No, it doesn't, because he had Mossad secrets. You can only get that many secrets by working with or for Mossad.
And then betrayed the Mossad and started working with Russia. Wow.
And then betrayed Mossad after obtaining secrets because he worked for them, dipshit. Now, instead of doing bad faith debating, let's talk about the bigger point that this is.
Oh, you want to go back to Israel-Palestine finally instead of this deflection? Or are we still on the deflection?
Yes,
I want you to answer about
Leon he still wants to go on the deflection. Okay, go ahead. What's your deflection
guys,
now?
My husband's going to get a reward for this.
Leslie Wexler and Leon Black, okay? They financed him. So you are saying that Epstein was just a pedophile having fun at a theme park. You said this before. You keep trying to go on tangents.
Yes. How dare I read the email you asked me to read? Terrible.
Was Epstein Island a blackmail operation?
A what? I'm sorry.
Are you retarded? Can you not hear words, or are you just?
His hands are shaking. Look at him when he puts them up.
Let me say it slow for you. Was Epstein a blackmail operation?
Against the United States or just everyone?
In general.
For Israel specifically or just in general?
No.
I'm gonna sleep so well
Was-
tonight. So are you,
I
babe.
have to ask because what happens is that I answer yes or no, and then you end up saying, "Oh, look, he said yes to this."
A blackmail operation.
By
Answer the question.
I have no idea. I'm not going to answer your extremely vague question. I know you want to get a vague question so you can later say, Nick said yes to this. You saw it. Not doing it, dude. Not doing it.
So Epstein's not a blackmail operation. He was just connecting billionaires, politicians, world leaders all over the world, getting them to sleep with underage girls.
Getting them
Filming
to.
them.
Yeah, he
Getting them
forced
to
them.
great
Yeah,
children.
totally. He got them to.
No.
Of course, it's because these guys are pedophiles. Leave it to the
More
Muslim
semantics.
to say
More
they got
semantics.
tricked into it. Of course. Okay.
More semantics. More semantics. He was just doing this for fun. Is that what you believe?
Literally never said that. Never once said that.
So what was this about?
I already told you, power. I already said this. You asked the same question
Power.
like 10 minutes ago.
Great,
Answer this already.
Power.
Uh-huh.
Power for who?
For himself. I already answered this. Do you not remember
Power for
when you
himself.
asked this question 10 minutes ago?
Power for himself. Okay, so he wanted to get power, but he was financed completely by billionaire Zionists, right? Why would billionaire Zionists fund him if he was just doing this for power?
I think a lot of billionaires absolutely are horrible people, right? Because a lot of people, when they gain so much wealth that they can't spend it fast enough, they end up going towards power, and they see themselves, a lot of the times, they deify themselves. Okay, and when you deify yourself, you end up doing a lot of horrible things. Same thing with Diddy. I don't think he was a Mossad operation either. When you deify yourself, you do these kind of things. A lot of billionaires fall into that boat. I don't automatically think
Diddy
billionaires
wasn't
are bad.
financed.
Right?
Diddy financed himself. Epstein was financed. He was propped up by rich Jewish Zionists.
You're not really getting the point. The point is that people deify themselves. They do a lot of these disgusting things.
Right.
And a lot of people, by the way,
Diddy
don't
is an
do that kind of
example.
things.
Diddy and
Again,
Epstein,
you're really
it's
focusing
not
on
comparable.
you're focusing on the wrong
No,
part.
not-
Just pretend I
because
didn't
you're
say
trying to
Diddy so
distract.
you can stop deflecting. Let's just pretend I didn't
because
say the word Diddy.
It's a bigger comparison. It's a bigger
Oh my
analogy about
God,
power.
Jesus
Diddy
fucking
was doing
Christ.
this because
He really
Diddy,
loves to
of course,
deflect.
Yeah, no, I do. You said Diddy is comparable to Epstein because they like to do these.
I
sex
didn't
parties,
say he
right?
was comparable to Epstein, by the way. He's not comparable.
The difference. Diddy was not funded by Jewish
I can't even
Zionists.
fucking speak English.
Epstein was.
Great.
Epstein was
I
funded by
literally-
Jewish Zionists.
Diddy is irrelevant to this at all. It had nothing to do
You
with
brought it
talking
up.
about
You brought
right.
it up.
Not to say he was
You brought it up.
comparable to Epstein. I said that when people deify themselves, they do awful things. Did you not hear that part, or are you just like ignoring it? You're Diddy, and you got like all
That's
excited.
why it's not different.
Little
No,
Muhammad,
because
Muhammad got excited. He's like, ooh,
you worship a pedophile country, and you're shilling for people that want to.
Oh, I
enslave
guess
you.
we're the
This is
same. I
embarrassing.
guess we're the same then. We both worship pedophiles.
No,
That's crazy.
I only serve God. You worship shekels, and you're covering for pedophiles. It's embarrassing.
Great. So can I get back to
Diddy
as if I
financed
didn't say?
himself.
Oh, he's still
No,
going.
you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't.
Literally
Don't run.
never
Don't run from this.
said Diddy was
There's nothing more
comparable.
important.
I
Why
never
are you
said
running?
Diddy. I
Why are
never
you running?
said Diddy was comparable to
Epstein
Epstein. You are
was
making this
funded
up because you
by
don't want to
Leon
get
Black.
debunked. So you're going off of
More
this Diddy
semantics.
thing now.
This is bad faith. Should I skip this guy? Type of one in the chat if I should
Oh,
skip.
he
because
wants
this
to
is-
skip.
this is incredible.
Is he
Yeah, you should
running?
skip.
If you can't answer the question,
He's running.
he was funded by Leon
Anyway,
Black and
so
Leslie
back
Wexler.
to-
Yes.
right,
You want to run from this question?
okay.
Look at him. Look at him run.
I want to
Do you
finish
wanna
what I
answer
was
this or
saying
not?
when you started interrupting me. That's what I want to. I
Was
want
he
to just
fi-
finish
he
what I was
financed-
saying.
Was he financed by Leon Black and Leslie Wexler?
God,
Jewish
this is
Zionists?
insane. What's your new
Was he
deflection?
financed by Leon Black and Leslie Wexler? That's not. Can you answer the question? Was he
I
financed by Jewish
assume based
Zionists?
off of what you
Was he
said,
funded-
that's true.
was he funded-
Yes.
You assume, or you could look it up and
Well,
find the
I'm
evidence
just going to
for
assume
yourself.
you're telling the truth. So yes.
So you're not going to look this up for yourself. Also, you can click right
I
here.
just
The photo that
said
you
yes.
The photo that you said was Photoshop of him wearing an IDF shirt. That's been confirmed by Telegraph UK. So here he is on a plane.
Did he
This
just
is
say
not a Photoshop
Telegraph?
photo.
Oh my fucking god! First off, it wasn't confirmed by Telegraph, genius. Telegraph was the first one to release it based off of the Butler.
One of the news sources.
It was
It's one of the
no,
news sources.
Oh my god!
Again,
no, it's not.
Okay, you love semantics.
No, it's
Okay.
not.
See,
You're so dumb. Telegraph
know-
was the
you-
first
you
one to
don't
release
know.
it. Telegraph was the
You don't
first
know
one
that-
to release it, genius. Holy
Okay, so
shit!
more
You,
semantics.
whoever's texting you this information, you need to tell them they're fired.
Nobody's
Tell
texting
them
me.
they're
Nobody's texting me.
fired. Telegraph's the one that released it for the first time. Oh my god, that's embarrassing. Holy
Yeah.
shit. Anyways, Back to what I was
This is how
saying.
these people win. This is how they.
I just want to finish what I was saying. You're the one that deflected to Epstein in the first place.
Instead of answering very clear things.
Oh my God.
Epstein was funded by Jewish billionaires. Look it up for yourself. It's all over. The DOJ was funded by Leslie Wexner. He's a Jewish scientist.
Guys, just so you know, this is the Telegram group he's talking about, the UK site. This was the first one to post it. Just FYI.
Just straight deceiving and lying.
Bro, I'm the one that allowed you to deflect to Epstein. And now that I'm trying to answer...
This is a conversation. Israel would not have the power it is today without Epstein.
You would not really, again, this video will be released and it'll show the prime. All right.
Yeah. You're
cool.
gonna try to edit it up too, huh? Yeah, release it just like this too. Don't do.
I have no fucking problem.
Wexner.
No problem whatsoever. I promise you, the whole thing will be on Epstein. The whole thing. Whole thing will be up there.
YouTube comments. Right now. Right, if you're seeing this part of the debate, you see how he's running away from the fact that Leslie Wexner, a Jewish Zionist, funded him.
Literally
he said here in this conversation, he said two things that you need to remember from this conversation. He does not think that Epstein worked for Israel, and he does not think that Epstein Island was a blackmail operation. This is who you're listening to.
Say any of
this is somebody covering up for the most evil island that the world has ever seen. Left, right, he's going to try to
shaking. Look at his hand. Do this. Look at his hand.
Nobody can defend this. Nobody can defend this. This is who is pushing these lies. These types of people running cover for Epstein.
Maybe take it back to Muhammad.
The victims have not been vindicated yet. They've been lying about them. They've been covering it up. They haven't released the files, and now we're at war with Iran. The people are covering up these files. They brought us into war with Iran for Israel, which would not exist without the pedophile blackmail.
As for those among your women who have he skipped.